Hello everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to the As Always podcast, episode 130. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well.
Nice.
Good. You know, just doing a bit of gaming here and there, and some more gaming on the side. So, yeah, been good.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, lots of gaming here and there. That's how it goes, and that's how to keep yourself nice and healthy. So, things good.
Lots of news in the last 24 hours because of what is it called? Was it DC FanDome or FanDome? It was weird.
I don't know. It's dumb like everything that comes out of DC. So, you know,
it was.
I try not to think about it.
But that's been pretty hectic. We've got, of course, Assassin's Creed shit to cover. Standard. But also there's some Star Wars stuff, Halo. Holy shit, there's actually a lot of fucking news we got to go through today, my friend. And it's exciting. Nice. It's just you and me tackling the news, tackling the gaming. But we can't go forward with any gaming without thanking the amazing producers that make this show happen. From As Always Entertainment, head over to patreon.com/asalways. Those producers are King Richard III, Josh, Duh Vil Yay, Damian, Olberik, Avry Dobbs, Adam Sundling, Cat94, Nick the Gaming Prick, Real Cinema, Colton, the Creampie King, Morgan, Machac, and Ballsack47. Thank you, sweet vintage lads, for helping power this podcast and making this show happen. We couldn't do it without you, so I appreciate the hell out of you. For the amazing support that's happening over at patreon.com/asalways. We've hit our August goal. So we've passed 260. Our goal for 2020 is 300 patrons over at patreon.com/asalways. So just $1 a month. If you like what you're listening to here or seeing here and you want to see and hear more, head over to patreon.com/asalways. $1 a month. You get exclusive access to the best podcast on the internet, the Clubhouse podcast. There's over 90 episodes of that show ready to go for you to stream at your leisure, plus early access to the Cinema Room podcast where we do spoiler casts for video games, movies, and TV shows. So it's exciting times. Head over there and support us. That would be amazing and mean a lot to us. We've also got the exciting announcement, James, of a editor that has joined the team at As Always Entertainment, and they are editing this podcast that you are watching and listening to right now. That is Josh J. Anderson. Good friend of the show and community, and now a member of the As Always Entertainment family. He's also the editor for Robin Gaming, one of our favorite guests on the show. So that's exciting. Bit of a, I just hit my mic, but that's me. Little clap for Josh.
Welcome.
Thank you, James. And now James shouldn't want to hang himself, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
How was it last time not having to? Because this would be the second show he's editing. How was it to not have to edit the show last time?
It was, it was great. I could have been helped by Walshy getting his fucking video up without me having to, chase him up. But that's all right.
And even when he got it up, disaster of a video. What a disaster!
But it spawns the best meme I've ever seen. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I really liked it. Wide She is great, and I'm really happy it exists.
Dude,
because it's just so funny. Like the whole podcast, he's just unnecessarily wide, like obnoxiously wide.
As soon as I saw it, and I went back to check all the clips, and Joe's is great, and obviously yours and mine are, as always. And then I see Walshy's, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
How did you fucking manage that?
The biggest opportunity.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Of his entire career, and he made Wide Chi.
That's so funny. I just don't get how you would mess that up. Just you need it in fucking 16:9, and then you're set, and it should be good.
How funny was it though when we were setting up the show, and he was struggling to get his webcam looking normal. Like, we were waiting ages for him to sort out his webcam and get everything sorted.
Yeah.
And then when he finally did, I was like, I don't think he did.
Yeah, he's like, I got it, guys. But on his end, he's just looking at him, but wide. And he's like, don't worry,
yeah.
I got it, guys.
He did not sound confident when he said he was ready, but I was like, I guess so. We've been waiting.
Oh,
so
it's
let's
funny.
Let's just do it.
That's so funny.
But honestly, what the fuck? That was so funny. That was so funny. Wow.
Good shit.
Wow. Yeah. So, dude, what videos you been working on? What's new? What games you've been playing? I've actually got some questions for you now that I think about it. Not even what games you're playing. So you've been streaming a lot, which is awesome.
I have been, yes.
Over on Lasers Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go subscribe.
Subscribe to that. Yeah, obviously. Support the cause.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been noticing this new game on Twitter that everyone's playing.
Right.
And it's like this weird race. Looks like a kid's race game.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that?
Which is what it is. It's okay. So, Fall Guys is a game that came. I think the reason it's gained popularity is because it was free on PlayStation Plus, and so a ton of people just. I think it's relatively new, but it just happened to be free on PS Plus for some reason.
Yeah, and that's blown up.
And now, so a ton of people got to play it, but then it obviously, I'm pretty sure it's on PC as well. I don't think it's just a PlayStation exclusive, but I don't think it's on Xbox. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Right.
But essentially, it's a new take on the sort of battle royale formula, I guess. But it's more of like a party game. So you join, so you and like a group of friends join a party, and then you hop on to this game. They'll have 60 people in it. And it starts off and you have like different stages, and in every stage, if you don't make it through, then you get knocked out. So like in the first stage, 40 people can get through. In the next stage, 30 people can get through. Then it's like, a smaller amount until at the end you've got like, and each mini game gets harder and harder until you get to the end where it's just like a small handful of people, anywhere between like, I don't know, 4 and 12. And you've got to battle it out to see who can win. And it's actually really fucking difficult. And you've got to be like really precise, and there's some like good platforming in there, and it's very competitive, and it's just really good fun. I don't know, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but like we formed a team, me, Ben, Zach, and Mario, and we're Team James. The reason with that is because it's a dumb meme, like Mario or Ben or whoever it was named the Discord group that. It's just the group's just called James for some reason, but. That's our group, and we played. I streamed it for like 5 hours the other night, which is mental. Like I don't play games for that long, really these days. But we streamed that game for 5 hours, and it was good fun. I finally got a win though, which is great. I've got one win. Right. Hopefully more to come down the line. But it's stupidly fun and addictive, and it really shouldn't be the type of game that I like, but somehow it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, looks like a lot of fun. It's one of those things I've been really seeing, and I'm like, honest, I would play that. I would definitely play that if I had time between my 7 jobs and push-ups. But obviously
of course, yeah,
obviously
of course. Yeah. Although it could be the perfect game for a Full Pillars stream, since we all have PlayStations. If we all found time.
That's true.
It could be a good one.
It is about time. It is about time for a 4 Pillars stream,
yeah.
And I think you're right. I think that would be like the perfect sort of game for that. So, okay. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Nice.
Sign me up. I need to start streaming.
Yeah, you do.
Let's be real. Like, I've got my new PC. I'm ready to go. It's just a matter of like getting you I think I'm getting Ethan to like help me set up Streamlabs and shit.
Yeah.
I'd ask you, but you'd want to hang yourself. So I don't want that.
I wouldn't mind. I could do it if Ethan's busy or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't mind.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, the last couple of weeks have been. It's not even like busy. It's just sort of fucked. So I just have been a bit out of it, and I'm hoping this week now going into it, I can sort of get back to normal, and doing normal shit, and streaming comes with that. Streaming comes out, making videos. I've got a plan, James. I've got a plan.
Right. Okay.
The goal is right. The goal is it's always the same. I said in January. I said in 5 years, As Always Entertainment, it'll have a studio with employees, multiple podcasts weekly, top of the game. Guaranteed. I stand by that. That's 4.5 years away.
It's plenty of time.
The plenty of time, and the goal's there. But there's steps to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to go full-time YouTube. Eventually, that has to happen before studio happens, before any of that happens. And that I want to be sooner rather than later. But I feel like right now going from full-time, like full-on full-time, I'm looking at down the road, and when I say down the road, I mean soon, to go to part-time.
Right.
So that way, I can invest more time doing YouTube, as in videos every single week, streaming every single week, more time to put into the podcasts and podcast marketing and clips, more time to do those extra little things that I haven't had time to do. That's the plan. That's the next step. Go part-time. Step it down, you know? And it's because of the great support of Patreon that I can do that. I can even consider that as well.
Bits and pieces going on there.
I mean, we hired an editor. We've got an editor now.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
That's the bits and pieces. Like, we wouldn't have been able to consider an editor a year ago. But now it's we're doing bits and pieces, and we can do that and use that and continue to grow, and then growing, then grow and grow and grow. And what we do is we invest back into the business. But that's me going part-time is investing back into the business, because my channel is the part of this business. Your channel's a part of this business. It's all encompassing, but like that's the plan. And I need to get back into streaming.
Yeah.
And I want to stream Horizon Zero Dawn, because I'm actually I haven't played it since my first playthrough, and I'm dying to play Horizon again.
Oh, that'll be good.
I'm dying to play Horizon again. And I've just got a bunch of new Horizon subs. From
that collab with Random Side Quest.
Which was a good collab. That was a good video.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
It turned out really well. Gorilla retweeted it, shout out, and they actually had a good response from the company I've made videos for, and it's like the third time I've ever done a video for Horizon. Meanwhile, I've done 750 Assassin's Creed videos, and Ubisoft hate us, so... But that's fine, because they're horrible people, so it's all good. So we're fine. Good. Ultimately, it's no big deal. But it just goes to show, I had a tear in my eye when Connor, who runs Random Side Quests, he goes, fellow Horizon YouTuber and content creator. I'm like, it's the first time anyone's called me something that's not an Assassin's Creed YouTuber.
Yeah, must be great.
Yeah, how does it feel? Have you ever been called anything else but an Assassin's Creed YouTuber before, James?
A racist. Doesn't feel too great.
Shit. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you such a piece of shit, James?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't get it either.
Why can't everyone just like you?
I don't know. That'd be ideal, to be honest. I'm sure I'm the most likable person.
I feel like
so
it's
really
part of your charm.
I really don't.
You're the most like controversial Assassin's Creed Ubisoft personality ever of all time.
Epic. Yeah, I think that's without debate. Yeah,
that's your claim to fame.
Yeah, it's the stupidest thing ever.
It's what your life will be remembered for.
Most controversial AC YouTuber.
Yeah. Not even AC
by a
YouTuber.
Mile as well.
Ubisoft personality, most Actually, you were until 2 months ago. So now you're like 7th now. It's like
it's a shame.
In 2 months, I was about to say your claim to fame was the most controversial Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed personality, and now you might not even be in the top 10 anymore. And that's
a shame. And I'm never gonna reach that point either, because I'm just not that much of a piece of shit, unfortunately.
True, and I definitely hope you don't reach that ever.
Yeah, I hope so. I can probably make that promise, I think.
Well, if you could make me that promise, that'd be great, because I'm kind of pretty invested in you.
Yeah.
And have been for like a large percentage of my life. So yeah. And this is the thing. Actually, hang on. What's the date today? 23rd Oh, this is the 6-year anniversary show.
Oh yeah, because next week it'll be too late. Or not next week, but
Well, this show comes out.
Well,
the 24th.
Clubhouse will be closer. Clubhouse will be like the day after, right? Because it was August 30th.
True. But I guess true. I mean, it's not really that first podcast isn't anything, is it? Like the 6th anniversary show, is it As Always podcast or is it Clubhouse or does it not matter? It's just sort of As Always entertainment in general.
Yeah,
the 4
just
pillars.
the
4
just
pillars.
6th anniversary of the birth of the our collaborative efforts. I guess
The community was born from that moment.
Yeah, it sort of spawned because we did little bits and pieces, and then it all sort of kicked off from there.
Yeah.
Which will be not a week today, 6 days from today when this goes up.
Yeah. But when you put it in perspective of like, I'm 24, I'm going to be 25 next month, right? But let's just say 24, 6 years, 25%, a quarter of my life I've spent doing shows with you. That's what you can just put that to. And that's too
crazy.
long. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's too long and too much of my life.
Yeah. Wow. That's so weird. Like, it had a bit, like, when we first started doing these, like, our stuff, when we did that first show, I would have just turned 17 a couple of months ago. That's so crazy. Yep. Like, that feels like a lifetime ago.
I was 18, about to turn 19, and I was about to go to Italy. It was like it was like 2 weeks before I went to Italy. And I think I said it on that podcast as well. I think I mentioned it on that show.
Yeah, I think you did.
And like the amount of Tyler's tales that came from that trip to Italy.
I know. And then we did that E3 preview where we barely talked about E3, and there was a shit ton of stories, and we just like talked a load of shit the whole time. And that was almost like the original Clubhouse in a way.
But the way I look at all of this is we now have 3 shows, right? We have the Cinema Room, which, right now it's a bit of a hiatus on and off, but we'll come back eventually. But As Always podcast and Clubhouse, right? We've got these 3 main shows. But those 3 identities of shows, they have their own 3 unique identities. They all kind of come from the Kill Connor Club podcast early days of what these shows have become. The As Always podcast is like the professional aspect where we cover news and topics and have a conversation and get guests. That element of the Kill Connor Club exists in the As Always podcast is what that is, and that's the flagship. Those old day Kill Connor Clubs, we had nothing to talk about, and we would just talk shit and we were, becoming friends, getting to know each other, sharing stories, and just talking shit and just building an audience where we had no one listening to us, and we could get away with saying a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason Clubhouse is behind a paywall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can share more personal stories. You can share more personal stories because you're not really it's like revealing too much, I guess, to just throw it out in the public, whereas our actual fans that really care about us and know us, they want to hear those sorts of things, whereas people that listen to us here might not be as interested. But from those early days where only the people that really liked us listened, where we'd go live and had 15 people watching us live.
Can't believe we used to do them live at all. That's so strange. They used to be a live thing. And I like both. Both are cool. Actually thinking about it, I do miss live sometimes. It was like there was that novelty of like everyone got together on a Sunday, and we'd all like everyone would be waiting for us to go live, and then we'd go live and we could just talk shit, and that was always fun. But these are cool too, and I premiere these, so there's that same feel as well. Like people do gather together to listen to the new episode as well. So
that's true. Changing the days is tough sometimes because it's not that Sunday of, those people gathering together. Certain people, like some people are busy that used to normally be there, those characters. But there's so many people now there in comparison to that watched us 5-6 years ago. 5 years ago is really when I call the early days 5 years ago. 6 years ago from the first show. But then it was the following year in 2015 that I call the early days.
Yeah.
Where it was just sort of like figuring shit out.
We slowly got rid of Joe.
That's pretty, like, he was on 3 podcasts.
Yeah. He was on a few more than that, I think.
Was he? 4?
Well, he was on, I feel like it was like a
episode
5,
0.
like a solid 5.
Episode 0 he was on.
Yeah. Episode 1, episode 2.
And he
episode
was on 3.
4,
Yeah.
and then I think he was on 5.
Nah, he wasn't, bro. His last episode was the T-shirt one.
Was that 5 or was that 6?
Hang on.
Because we did one on the AC movie, and I think he was there for that one.
I'll let you know. So, Q&A. Assassin's Creed Unity discussion Q&A with Dynamite and the Game and Sheet in brackets Birth of Kill Connor Club.
Classic.
Thoughts on Unity Victory, Kill Connor Club, episode 1. Joe was there. And then we had the second one, which was with Luke Nunn.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Luke
I remember
came
Luke
on
was on that
the-
Syndicate one.
Yep.
And that's the one where you had a fucking awful delay.
I was uploading a video, and it's before I knew how much internet uploads would drain and how much that would ruin our connection. It was just
it
what
was
a
so
terrible
brilliant.
podcast.
Oh, it was incredible.
Look at now, the mics we have. We're on a video podcast platform, the way we do our show. This is a professional fucking show now.
Yeah.
This is a legit professional show on all podcast services and video on YouTube. I'm proud of this podcast, man. I'm proud of the show.
Yeah, I'm too.
But look, and that's what, like, as much as you're right, I miss live. There's an element of me that misses live, but what the video podcast has done to the show has actually been such a boost.
Yeah, I think it's a show now that I'd be like more eager to share with people. I'd be, look at this thing that I do. I think it's really well made and well put together, and I think it's like a good thing that you could share with people. Whereas before, I feel like for the community, it was great. Like everyone got together, and it was really, there's that sense of community, and that was really cool. I mean, it's still there, but like there was that sense of, I guess it's because the old days, one, there was less people, but I think now it's just this really professional show that we've done. I think it's still got the same heart as Kill Connor Club, but it's evolved into something else, and I think it's become something that, you know, is more appealing to the wider audience as well. Like, you can share it with someone, like, oh, it's just a really cool, well put together podcast. But before, like, especially in like 2015, it's almost like if you didn't get it and you weren't already on board, you might not want to jump on board because you're like, this is kind of like a shit show. But that was kind of like the fun of it.
It was such a shit show, but we were just figuring it out. You've got two guys that were coming up in YouTube, have only been doing it a couple years, and we've got an audience that listen to us talk about whatever we want to talk about. And that's a lot of power that neither of us had ever had. I certainly hadn't. Like, just to be able to talk to you and have a conversation, and people actually listened and contributed, and we had jokes, inside jokes. Like, it was so, like, special at the time, and it was such a, we didn't know what to do with it. We would talk out of our ass, and when I say we, I mostly mean me.
Yeah.
And I still do, but with a bit more truth to it. Whereas, like, I feel like I just sort of went over the top with everything I said back then, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But
interesting.
I'm looking at these shows where the T-shirt was made. T-shirt launch was his last episode. That was 4. So he's on 0, 1, 2. He was on 3.
He was on 9. That was his
on
last
4, but he was a guest on 9.
I guess. But
I
we
call
still,
it a guest on 9.
I think at the time we were sort of treating him like the third, like, you know, he was like still part of Kill Connor Club. Because I mean, we always said, like, I mean, it's obviously not the case anymore, but we always said back in the day, like, you know, Joe isn't on anymore regularly, but he's always like a part of what the show is. So like, if he ever wanted to come back on, we'd always say yes. Now, if he wanted to come back on, I'd probably tell him to get fucked. But you know, that's just how it
joking?
goes.
Dude, if he's like, boy's gonna come on, it's like, hey, how about go fuck yourself, because you have nothing to do with the show. This is completely yours and mine.
Could you imagine if he said, "Hey guys, I'd love to come on the podcast"? I'm like, why? What the fuck?
We have
Fucking
130
idiot.
episodes of just this show alone, 90 episodes of Clubhouse, almost 40 of Cinema Room, and 6 years. You know, like,
Yeah.
he's a part of the birth of the show, right? But I don't even remember him.
Like, you physically cannot remember. You're like, who the fuck is Joe? Who the
honestly,
fuck is this Joe
every time
guy,
I
man?
think about the early days, I forget he was there.
It's actually so weird to think about the fact that he was there not just as a guest, like he was a co-host in the same capacity that we host the show. Like, he was equally part of the thing until eventually, I don't know, we just realized that he just was there for no reason, just because he also made AC content.
Like, I'd never have, if, like, you had your hiatus, I would never have, if Joe's like, dude, I'll come in and, like, co-host with you. Like, absolutely fucking not. There's only 2 people that will ever co-host with you or me to cover each other for, like, sickness, being away, whatever the reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be one of the 4 pillars. They're the only 2 options. There was no one in my head, I'm like, I could get them on and they could co-host with me.
Imagine Joe coming back.
I only, like, when you went on hiatus, my only thought was I either get Ethan and George on or we don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, if there was no one else.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. It's a weird one to think about, that he was... I wonder if he saw the podcast, he'd be like, what the fuck are these 2 cunts done? Like, we started this podcast, 6 years ago, just as, like, a bit of fun to talk about Assassin's Creed in fucking 2014, 2015, and now all of a sudden it's this big brand of, like, we've got, as always, we've got a Patreon, we've got 3 different podcasts.
The merch. Great merch, by the way. Check it out.
It's crazy. But it's cool. I really love it. This is not something I ever really thought about doing necessarily when I first started making content. Like, for the, 4 years before we made that first episode, or even longer than that. Like, I've had multiple channels, but from this channel, like, the 4 years, I never thought, like, I'd want to start a brand like that and, grow like that sort of thing, almost like a network in a way.
It is a network, because I don't
really
even
cool.
just see, like, it as just you and me sometimes. Like, the 4 pillars is a network. Like, that's a whole different network. And that includes, like, conversations with us as well. And people like a Walshy and a Joe. Like, as in founded Scarab, not fucking the game.
Yeah.
But, there's content creators out there that, to me, are a part of our network. And, like, we've got, I wouldn't consider part of our network, but, like, good friends like a Robin Gaming. Like, Brett, to me, is a part of our, like, network group. Those are,
Brett's
like,
the 5th pillar.
If there was ever a 5th pillar, it's Brett.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That, like, we've got a close group of a network, and with As Always Entertainment, and especially, like, the 4 pillars, like, that's its own brand. And I never I'm with you. I never expected that. This is totally the happiest surprise, because it's way more fun with you guys. Like, I could do YouTube videos by myself and only by myself, but it would be fucking boring eventually.
Yeah, it's good to have that group.
It's great to have the community, someone to share it with, and to talk about the things you want to talk about with, and have those experiences like the meetup and making content in a group. It's way more fun that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's cool as well that not just having, like, a group of friends that also make content, but the 4 pillars being our brand, where it's like, we don't just have our individual communities and we sometimes cross over. I just love that we're 4 people that have one community that is just one place. Like, with the Discord, it's, you don't have, like, a fishy community and then a lasers community and a Dynamite community and a Longer Fox community. We've got this one place for 4 creators, and we all cross over and, like, share things with each other, and just, it's this one, like, there's something so special about that, and I don't think a lot of channels have that sort of sense of community. Well, like, I'm sure they've got great communities around their channels, but, like, I really love that we're not just, like, 4 guys that cross over sometimes. We are one thing, and I think that's just really, it's been really fun to develop that. And yeah, it all sort of just happens so organically that you don't notice it until you look back and you're like, wow, we've done, some big bits and pieces. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, that is really cool when you put it that way. I've never really thought about it that way, where it's really just, there's nothing like that. Because there's so many content creator group friends, but they either run a channel together, and it's their channel together, or they're just 4 separate channels or whatever, 2 separate channels, whatever, and they share some, viewers and cross over a bit. No, it's not like literally the 4 pillar community is my community. It's your community. It's Ethan's community. It's George's. It's even beyond that as well. It's Conversations community. It's a lot of Brett's community as well nowadays as well. Like, of course, there's always little offshoots, but in terms of the people that are really connected to us, it's a completely shared space. And no one knows me without the 4 pillars, and that's cool. Like, I think that's awesome. And the way people talk about us as one group and know us as one group. Yeah. That's pretty fucking crazy. And especially we're such good friends. Like, I fucking love you three. Like,
yeah, it's great.
Three of my best friends. And we all get along like a house on fire. And I always look forward to when we do Four Pillars podcasts. It's never dull. It's always so much fun. Yeah,
it's always great when we have the four of us together. Because it is good just having, like, a genuine group of friends as well. Like, rather than it just being, you know, content creators that collaborate, which is like what a lot of people do as well, is they exist in the same space together professionally and they'll collaborate. But with us, it's like we are just good mates and we sit down and we talk about shit and it's good fun. And I think people love that as well. There's just something about the Four Pillars community that's so genuine. And I think that's what makes it such an engaging place to exist in for me, but also for everybody else that watches as well. And I just think it's so cool. It's such a special place. Super proud of it. Yeah, same. Oh, man, that's so nice. Our yearly reminiscing about... Yeah, I love it. How far we've come. And that's over, now over a year ago since the meetup and putting out all this content. And there was the 5-year anniversary that we put that last piece of content out, which was the Four Pillars Assemble trailer. So that'll always be a special time. And until the next time, because there will be a next time, and sooner rather than later, once the pandemic sort of wraps up, which who the fuck knows when that'll be. Yeah, but, when it fucking wraps up, kills all the old people, and then we can move on with our lives. It's at that point, isn't it? Yeah. It's at that fucking point. It's like, that'd be ideal if we could just speed up, just get rid of them and let's move on. Because I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. Remember when we all thought this would be over in a few months? Oh my god! What is Remember that? On? And I can't really talk because I went to a fucking sports event today with 15,000 people in the stadium. It's fine so for I can't you. Really You're complain. Fine. But here much. They're talking about Northampton going into a lockdown because we've got way too many cases or something. So that's great. How many cases do you have in Northampton? I don't know. Many, a few, a lot. I don't know. I've done keeping up with it at this point. All I know is we've got like so many that are thinking of just locking down specifically our town. And a few other ones as well. But, yeah, so that's a nightmare. But, I don't know. I'm so ready for this to be over with. Like, is there any way we can just develop a vaccine? Like, it's 2020, just hurry up. I'm sure there's, like, a scientist out there that can figure it out. Just inject some bullshit into a rabbit and see what happens. It can't be that difficult. I'm sick of this. I need a fix. Yeah. I mean, your daily cases... Oh, what's sitting like 1,000 a day? Certainly gone down significantly. But you haven't had a second wave yet. Yeah, I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's happening. It's gonna spike again. See, we've already had ours. Well, not where I live, but Melbourne got hit massively for a second wave, which was worse than the first. But it was more because we didn't really get hit the first time. Like we just fucking shut that shit down and got rid of it. So we locked down like everyone else, but it wasn't really as much of a worry because it sort of didn't. It was going really well as soon as we locked down. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Classic COVID. Yeah, it's just, fuck talking anymore about this though. Let it end. Just let it fucking end. I'm just. It was weird today being out and like going in the stadium and you're watching walking in and there's just thousands of people all gathered in a big fucking huddle group. And I'm like, man, why is that so weird to see? It shouldn't be weird to see just people. It's so weird. I've gotten to this point where if I'm watching a TV show and I see people really close to each other, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, oh, it's not real. And it was probably filmed years ago, so it's fine. Yeah. The fuck? It's so weird. It's crazy. It's so fucking weird. I just want it to end because I don't want it to be a part of I don't want it to be a part of the future. As in, I don't want to watch a movie and they have to address the fact that COVID exists. No, don't do that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you watch a movie, it's like, we can't shake hands. We almost shook hands. We meet. You're watching a romantic comedy and they go to shake hands. Like, oh no, sorry, let's fist bump. It's like, oh fuck, it's so dumb. Yeah, holy look, we shit. Can't. We're watching the next Avengers movie and it's like, make sure we're all standing 1.5 meters away, boys, before we charge. Yeah. Oh my god. It'd be like, oh god. Yeah, but it's just let it end. Yeah, just let it go and let's forget it ever happened, please, because it's don't like it. No, don't worry about it. Let's move on.
let's move on. Let's get into the topics. I do want to give a shout out to the first. Well, I'm the dad of the Four Pillars community, but the Four Pillars community has its first dad.
Yeah.
So shout out to our buddy, Mr. Eddie, Super Tuber Eddie. One of the 50% of conversations. He is now a father, and I'm mad at him.
Insane.
I'll be honest with you. I'm mad at him.
Why?
Because we're supposed to be friends, and he didn't tell us his girl's having a fucking baby. Hey, bro,
Yeah, true.
you tell your friends you're having a kid. You don't surprise us. That's not a surprise. I don't like surprises. In fact, I hate surprises.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm glad he didn't tell me, actually, because when I tuned into the stream, it was a big surprise, and I liked that. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I didn't like it. I was upset. No, I did like it, obviously, because I was like, wow, this is actually, like, so... First of all, such awesome news. And I was like, I messaged him, I said, this is, like, made my fucking week. Made my shit week. And it's super special. Like, the video is amazing. His daughter, Tyler, you know, not a coincidence, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's a homage to his fearless boss and leader.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I appreciate that. Employee of the month is on the way. Actually, no, it's probably gone to Josh. But Eddie, you're a close second for employee of the month for naming your child after me. I hope her middle name is James, and then it's you know, then we can really, you know, it'll be good. Or Ames, because you know there's no T in, you know, it's Isla, not Tyler, but still, congratulations. That's super special. She's adorable. And he posted the first picture with his girl, and I was like, yeah, punching above your weight, Eddie. You're killing the game right now. You're killing the game right now.
Doing
Good
absolute bits and pieces.
He's doing absolute bits and pieces. So I'm going to send him definitely some As Always merch for Isla, so she can...
yes.
Yeah, so we're going to... Eddie, we're going to send you some As Always entertainment merch for your daughter, and she can wear it. And I'll send you a care package soon filled with Captain America comics, so you don't poison her with Superman shit.
Oh, yeah, don't show her the Snyder cut. I'm not having that.
God, I know, just horrendous. But but it's, you know, it's fucking just great to have some good news for once. It's just so nice.
Yeah, nice wholesome news.
Wholesome news, super wholesome news. But aside from that, we can get into a bit of the gaming news. A bit of the gaming news. Halo Infinite delayed. James.
Yeah, boy.
Are you what are your feelings right now? Halo Infinite, it's... Yeah, what are your thoughts? I got my own, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, so I said this when I first saw it. I'm like, if this game is coming out in 2020, then we're fucked, because it looks like shit. And I'm like, this needs a delay. I feel like the developers need a delay, and I'm so happy they've gotten it. What we need majorly for this game is, for a start, we need polish on visuals and how the game plays. We need major polish. Sound design needs to be worked on a bit. But then overall, we just need to see more, because obviously we don't know what this game entails. So if the whole game is what we're seeing in this gameplay demo, then that means that the core foundations of the game are a bit fucked, because it means we don't have like big linear moments or set pieces, which is sort of core to the Halo experience. So that's something I'd like to see. But, you know, this delay gives them time to properly polish and put out like a good game when the time comes. So I am so glad that they're able to delay it, and because they needed to. And hopefully this could actually be a good game now when it drops, because there's so much about it that I do like.
How's that soundtrack?
Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Did you hear the new one they put out, Through the Trees, which is like a spin on the Walk in the Woods from CE? Oh my god, it's fucking amazing. It's such a killer soundtrack that just sounds like Halo. And there's so much to love. There really is so much to love. You know, they just got to polish that shit up, and then hopefully, you know, we can have a good Halo game on our hands, which would be great.
Oh, dude, I have a few thoughts, right? Like, Like, I'm happy it's delayed because, of course, I want the best Halo product, and a delay can only mean they're going to obviously spend more time polishing it and improving it in hopefully the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But the nail's in the fucking coffin for Microsoft and Xbox. If it wasn't already, you don't have a Halo game to launch with. You have fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've been saying this for 2 years to you, James. I'm like, they're doing the right thing with Halo by waiting and not releasing it until the next Xbox comes out. You need a Halo to launch with if you're going to compete with Sony. If you want any chance to compete with a mainstream audience that want to buy your game, they'll give Halo a shot. The mainstream might not be following it. They might not know it's shit from all these trailers. They'll still buy an Xbox and Halo for their friends. Their mates buy an Xbox to play Halo. They'll buy an Xbox to play Halo. But now you don't have that. You only have a PS5. The only thing people are going to be playing is a PlayStation fucking 5.
I think, though, right? Now, this is my take on the matter, is that I think this is a long-term investment, because I think short-term, they could probably sell a lot of Xboxes if they put out Halo on the Xbox unfinished and just, like, push it out the door.
Yeah.
But I think that long-term, I think it would just harm the Xbox brand more than if they take the time and put out, like, what could be a really quality Halo game next year that could in turn sell Xboxes, but more importantly will sell Game Pass, which is something that they're pushing way more. And I think that Xbox genuinely doesn't really give a shit about the Xbox. I think they care more about Game Pass and their games, because people can play it on PC now, and I think what they want is more to push those things. I just don't think they care about the actual Xbox. Honestly, I feel like this could be the last year of Xbox before they just move entirely to Game Pass, because I don't know. They haven't shown a great deal of care for their hardware, and I don't know. I feel like delaying Halo and putting out what hopefully will be a really good game next year, I feel like it'll benefit Microsoft more as a whole. It'll probably hurt Xbox sales, but I think Microsoft will overall benefit.
That's probably a good way to look at it, because Xbox is fucked from this.
Yeah,
it's fucked. It's fucked from this, because even if they make good Halo, it's too little too late. People have invested into the new consoles, right? Like, a lot. And obviously not everyone. People are going to keep buying consoles all the way into the end of the generation. People are still buying fucking PlayStation 4s. Not Xbox Ones. They've already stopped manufacturing them. But the Xbox with that... man, I was saying years ago, they're doing the right thing, man. They're doing the fucking right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't launch an Xbox again without a Halo. You can't do it again. They made the fuck up with the Xbox One. They released Halo 4 the year before the Xbox One came out. Why the fuck they did that is beyond me.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It was stupid. Fucking dumb. And now you've got this shit show. They've shown what they've shown. Disaster. And it's not going to be ready for launch. You're going to launch an Xbox with what? Hellblade 2.
Do they have... This is what's so odd. Because, look, obviously
Hellblade 2 is
Halo
a fine game,
great...
I'm sure, but I'm just saying it's not going to sell your fucking console. You're competing against Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's totally different.
You're competing against Spider-Man.
I think the thing is with Hellblade, I think it's quality enough to... I think it's probably one of Xbox's best IPs. I just think they need to...
I'm not disputing that, though.
I think the issue is not enough people played the original for the sequel to sell.
Yes.
And that's a problem. And they need... I mean, obviously, they've at this point, like Microsoft are so fucked with their exclusives that they've got to start somewhere, I guess. But I feel that it would have been... They need something. They need something that's luring people in, like a big AAA exclusive. Obviously, Halo would have done that. But you would think they've got something else. If they've made this delay... It's a bit crazy that they are going to launch the Xbox without an exclusive, like a big AAA exclusive.
They've got nothing.
Which I guess Hellblade is AAA now, since it's published by Microsoft and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see. Maybe they've got something else up their sleeve to be like, here's another thing to replace Halo. Maybe they have something else. But I don't know. I just think they have... I think for them, their focus is more on they've got like marketing rights with Assassin's Creed, which is probably good for them. They've got Game Pass is doing absolute bits.
It is.
And so I feel like they're content with those things. So yeah, I don't know what their plan is with the Xbox, but I feel like they've fucking given up.
Dude,
because
I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy now. I said last podcast, I'm a PlayStation guy now. It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm always going to consider myself more of an Xbox guy purely because I grew up with it, or like not grew up with it, but I got into proper gaming with the Xbox 360, and so I'm always going to have those fond memories of it. And it's so difficult to be like, even though I know I'm a PlayStation guy because I play way more PlayStation, I prefer PlayStation. I think they've nailed it, and Xbox is fucked up. I'm still like rooting for Xbox to bring it back, and yeah,
I'll always root for healthy competition because it'll just make both better. But I'm a PlayStation guy, and I can't sit here and pretend I'm not because, like you said, and you are too, whether you'll admit it or not, because you play more PlayStation, you like PlayStation better, and you know PlayStation's doing the right things, and they are. And yeah, it doesn't mean we can't root for Xbox. I'm rooting for Xbox to do well, but at the end of the day, like, what are we supposed to do? We can't. Yeah, it's just like an abusive fucking relationship with Xbox, like trying to be an Xbox fan. It's just like they really make you, they bring you in, they make you fucking think we'll be right. We've got you. We're doing the right thing. No, we've learned from our mistakes. We won't do that again. And then they fucking smack you.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah, I'd love to see fucking Xbox do good again. I'd love to. But, I mean, you know, we've got some bits and pieces here and there. Like, Halo Infinite could be the makings of something really good, and then you've got Fable coming.
But based on what? Fable, yeah. Fable's the only saving grace for me. I'm all 100% on board the Fable hype train. I'm going to be fucking covering Fable news on my fucking channel until that game comes out. I am all aboard the Fable hype train.
It's going to be
all about it. All fucking about it.
Looking forward to it. The issue is, though, is it going to become an epic online loot game with microtransactions and, you know, a push on fucking co-op and shit? It's going to be like
not
Avengers.
From Playground. Not from Playground.
Fucking.
Not from Playground.
I don't know. It could be like, I suppose it would be like, if anything, they'd probably maybe handle it like a Forza Horizon almost.
Yeah, maybe. But Horizon Zero Dawn's what they've been trying to recreate there with Fable. They're trying to compete with Horizon Zero Dawn. That is what they're designing Fable to.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. So it wants to be primarily a single-player RPG.
They're designing Fable to compete with Horizon. That is what Fable's job is as an exclusive.
I hope they don't lose identity, though, by trying to do that. Because Fable has such a unique identity, as well as in its tone and stuff, also in its structure of the way the game is made. And I'm fine with Fable becoming an open world, as long as it's as detailed as it used to be.
Well, the only reason it wasn't before is because they couldn't. Technology didn't, give it...
I don't know. I feel like they wanted it to be hub-based. I feel like that was sort of like the direction of the game. Because, I mean, like, Fable 3 came out in 2010. That could have been open world if they wanted it to be.
True. But
I feel like that was part of what they wanted to do. But if they want to go open world now, I don't really have a problem with them doing it, as long as they make sure the world still feels rich. I'm totally cool with it being open world. I'm totally cool with them not doing open world. Like, it also doesn't have to be. If they wanted to go with hub based, I'd be cool with that as well, because I feel like that's something we don't see a lot of, and I think it's valued as well. But I just hope that they don't somehow lose what makes Fable what it is, and they don't push it more in the action RPG direction, and they pull it back a bit more, and they do lean into what makes Fable with, like, the, managing of your finances, and, buying and selling properties, and owning shops and stuff, doing the little mini game, building relationships. Like, those are all iconic Fable things. It's like when you 100%. Cross Elder Scrolls and The Sims. Like, you need both of those elements in a Fable game. You can't just go down the route of killing monsters and making money through that and epic quests. Like, you need those things in there. Like, monster hunting could be a great thing in Fable. There was a lot of that in Fable 1. You could go and, like, hunt these big monsters and stuff. But
it was all about, doing quests. You're a hero, part of the Heroes Guild. You're supposed to go on quests to help people out, and usually there's, like, monsters attacking a farm or something, or harassing a farm, or Balverines, killing people on a road between two towns, sort of thing. Like, there's the monster side of things, there's the Sims job side of things. You need to be able to buy property. You need to be able to have relationships.
That was always so much fun. I love that.
100%. But I still think that can be a part of it. Like, but taking on Horizon, which is what their plan is, I believe, doesn't mean you can't do all those things. You do all those things in a way, but you're competing with Horizon. And I say this because I don't think Horizon gets enough credit. because everyone's been talking, and we'll get on to DC and these new Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, and all this shit, and how much people are now mad. Like, I saw some people today saying how they wish Witcher 3 didn't exist because every fucking game's trying to copy it. You cannot just blame The Witcher 3 for this. Horizon deserves almost, not as much, but almost as much credit as The Witcher 3 does. And I say this because Horizon was the next game to do what The Witcher 3 did, and it was 2 for 2. Because it wasn't... The Witcher 3 nailed it. And then Horizon came in, also nailed it. And you're like, this is how we do games now. It wouldn't have happened if it was just The Witcher 3. You can't just blame The Witcher 3. It happened because it happened more than once. And they're like, everyone... It can work for everything, I guess. Everything will work this way. Yeah.
You also have Mass Effect Andromeda, which did the same thing. I mean, that game flopped horrifically, but they still did it. But yeah, Horizon showed that you can do a Witcher 3 game and you can succeed doing it and people will love it. And then you got Assassin's Creed comes out and they're fucking doing bits. Even though they're terrible, but, you know... that's all what they're doing. And, I mean, I still like components of Origins, but I think with Origins, because people keep asking me all the time, like, why do you hate Origins? I don't hate Origins for a start, but also I think that Origins as a standalone game that exists is a really fun experience, but within context of the recent years of Assassin's Creed, it bothers me because we've had Odyssey, and then we've had Valhalla, and before that was Origins, and I'm so sick of this. I can't appreciate Origins anymore. I might be able to really appreciate it again down the line, but I just feel like it's just started what was a horrible descent into fucking madness for Assassin's Creed. But it's this RPG direction. Every game now just feels like it needs to throw away its identity, to throw in epic loot and XP, damage numbers, stat boosts, gear systems. Like, not every game needs to be like that. It really doesn't. And if your game isn't already centered around that, if you throw that in, it's just going to ruin the experience for a lot of fans and a lot of people playing this game. I know there's a ton of people that will just play every single game that comes out regardless of what it is, but it just sucks for those people that don't do that, I guess. It's
but it works for some games so well. It worked for The Witcher 3, and Witcher 3 was a trendsetter, and I feel like Horizon just followed suit so soon after, like 18 months later, and just fucking knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
Well, that's because The Witcher was already an RPG, so it lent itself to that really specific formula that they built. And then Horizon was a new IP, so they could immediately build this game around that formula. But then when people are trying to then apply it to, like, you try to apply it to Assassin's Creed, you try to apply it to Batman, you're doing all this stuff. It's like, why? What is wrong with what existed? Why do you have to turn it into The Witcher? Why do you have to turn it into an RPG? Yeah. I don't understand what the purpose is of it. There's nothing wrong with more linear games.
I think when, naturally games try to get bigger every time. That's a part of selling and marketing a game, is when you make a sequel in a franchise, you got to be bigger and better than the last. And a way to be bigger is to be an open world RPG. That's how they sort of saw it. They can't just do another city that may or may not, like Assassin's Creed sense, that it's like, we've got to build cities that are going to be bigger than the last. If we go 1-to-1 scale, they're almost a 1-to-1 scale at this point. Like, how much bigger can we do cities and it be interesting? I guess we've got to have different terrain, and it's got to be really this big open world. Then if we're doing a big open world, then we need to have this and that.
Let's build a whole fucking country.
It's like, bigger isn't always better, just like penises, guys. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. I can let you know that the bigger isn't always better. But that's just a personal thing. Anyway, but I found it weird that we're blaming The Witcher 3. Anyway, that's all, because it's not just The Witcher 3. I honestly think Horizon is almost as much to blame as The Witcher 3 is.
I think so, but without The Witcher, Horizon probably wouldn't have done what it did. So,
I mean, 18 months. The game was in development before Witcher 3 got released, but I understand what you're saying. They certainly took things from The Witcher 3. I hadn't played The Witcher 3. Horizon was the first game like that I'd played. And I was blown. I loved the way it was designed. And I was blown away by it. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Like, all games should be like this. Then it's like, oh, wait.
Yeah, so was I. Exactly. Yeah, so was I.
That's what we thought. We're a part of the problem. And do you know what? The Witcher 3 isn't to blame, neither is Horizon. We're to blame. And
we're to blame. Well, it's all those Empire videos.
I'm including all of the audience members as well. The gamers out there, you all fucking wanted it too. And now you all hate it.
But this isn't what I wanted. Like, this isn't actually what I wanted.
It's what we wanted. We asked for this, and we got it.
I didn't look.
We've got to take
with,
some
like,
responsibility. We asked for this. We wanted it.
Fuck. Yeah, those fucking clips that people keep posting to me being like, every game lends itself to being an RPG, if you think about it, is one of my worst quotes ever, and I hate that I said that.
It's aged poorly.
Now,
I'm gonna say a quote that might age poorly, but I think Fable was built to be an RPG. It's literally always been an RPG.
It's an RPG, yeah.
It's an RPG. Assassin's Creed, not an RPG, it's an action-adventure game. Fable 1, RPG. Fable 2, RPG. Fable 3, RPG. Fable 4/Fable reboot that is coming out from Playground Games is gonna be an RPG and should be an RPG similar to Horizon The Witcher 3. It's built for that. And you can still do Fable things that are uniquely Fable, the same way Horizon does uniquely Horizon things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
same
what,
way
that's
Witcher
what,
does
that's what
uniquely
makes it.
Witcher things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the economy is a big part of Fable. Huge part of Fable. The economy has to be there.
Yeah.
Relationships and Sims type deals have to be there. The magic of the world has to be there. But then you can do your open world mechanics, your combat, your monster hunting. Ghost of Tsushima is like that work. What an amazing game that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great game.
What an amazing game that is.
The good thing about Ghost, though, is what I really like, is that they don't go full Witcher 3. They pull it back a bit, and they're like, we can keep this a bit more linear at times. We can keep this a bit more...
It's a bit more grounded.
Reserved. It's a bit more old school Assassin's Creed, a bit closer to like a Shadow of Mordor sort of thing.
It's you know, Red Dead-esque as well. There's some Red Dead elements I feel to it.
Yeah, it draws from a lot, and it doesn't need to go full open world epic action RPG. Like, it can go a little bit less than that, and I appreciate them doing that. It means that we can deal with, you know, some really cool things like the combat system. You wouldn't be able to do that in, you know, an RPG where you've got these really cool looking animations that are, you know, very reminiscent of some older action adventure games. I really like that. Like, you know, they have these great animations for killing people and everything, because it's not stat based, because it's not like you do this many hit points of damage, they take this many points because of their defense stat. Like, I fucking hate stats. Can we just stop putting stats in games, like with gear and loot and stuff? Like, Jesus Christ. Just have something that's like, this is a more powerful sword, it will kill him a bit quicker. That's fine. Yeah. I don't need to know that something's 500,000 strength and something's 500,020 strength or whatever. It's fucking arbitrary. Just
have 100%, but have a percentage bar. Like, it's like now at 100% fully like upgraded, like Ghost does.
Yeah. And like the armor systems in Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood or Revelations or whatever, they got like little star ratings or whatever. Like, when you get it, you get an extra bit of like an armor rating, and it just means you can take more hits or whatever. Simpler is sometimes better. Yeah.
Less is more. Less is more. I'm in Act 3 of Ghost of Tsushima finally.
Oh, okay.
Act 2 was so much better than Act 1. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So much better.
It's brilliant.
So much better. The world opens up a bit more. The combat certainly opens up massively, but also the story is, I'd say, 3 or 4 times better than Act 1.
There's some great story moments in Act 2. Really, really is.
And the missions are way more fun. Way more to the point. Way more action. And the character's a bit better by that point, whereas Act 1's really slow. Very, very Act 1 of Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah, it really
is. Such a copy-paste of Act 1 of Red Dead Redemption 1.
Going around, doing chores.
Yeah, meeting all these characters, going around doing chores, gathering people to attack a fort. Like, it's literally the same
Red Dead
storyline.
1, yeah.
And then the guy, when you attack the fort, spoilers, the guy that you want to kill's not there. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and it's like, you got to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
That's where he is.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. And then Act 2 is like, no, this is now I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. I feel like I'm playing this Japanese samurai / stealth game.
I love Jin's arc though. The moments that happen in Act 2 where he's questioning, his samurai heritage and everything. He's like, is this right? Is this what we should be doing?
Yeah.
Is there a better way of doing it? And he's got that conflict as well. I love that so much. It's so interesting, and seeing him at odds with it.
I love the way I headcanoned it while I was playing. Like, I played it a certain way that I kind of just really enjoyed, and I felt like, I'm sure you do the same. We've talked about this many times over the years. Like, you play the game and you sort of headcanon things yourself of this character would do certain things. Like in Act 1, I went almost full stealth, where I was like, look, this is the new way of doing things. I'm alone. I've got to do this. You've got to do it to survive. The story gets spread. Then I'm going to try not to spoil things. Then Act 2 comes around and I go full samurai again. Because I'm like, oh, no, I need I can't really do that anymore. I've got to go full samurai. And then I sort of, Act 3, I'm like, nah, back to, I've gone full Ghost almost, is how I feel like it needs to be played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's fucking brilliant. It's a really great personal story, and I think it really picks up in Act 2.
It's the best Assassin's Creed game since Revelations, and that's...
Yeah, I do love the similarities to things like Assassin's Creed. It makes me really long for that to come back again. At least in terms of like the tools and stuff you can use in stealth. I think it's so much fun when you go into a camp and like you've got like these wind chimes that can throw out poison, or you use like the blowpipe and shit. It's great. It's really great for that sort of stuff. And yeah, I just think they nailed a lot of those aspects, and I do love that the story picks up in Act 2 and then moving into Act 3. Act 3 is not very long though, so you're really close to the end now.
Yeah, no, I can sort of tell
one.
that there's not much to this act, because it's already it's locked me off from the rest of the map, and I'm like, is that just for the start of the act, or is that for the rest of the game?
It's just for the start, but yeah, it'll open back up and let you go off and do whatever you need to do. Maybe you need to like buy some weapons, just finish some stuff off, and then it'll be like, right, now you can finish the game.
But before I even finish the game, I need to go around and take out all the different camps so I can unlock the map, because that's a big pet hate for me.
Yeah, I did that, yeah, because I knew I wasn't going to do it when I was done with the game.
No,
because
and I'm not absolutely not gonna.
I can never play games when I'm done, so I made sure to do everything before I finished it.
Yeah.
I didn't do like everything. I didn't 100% it, but I did every side quest. And
did you? Fuck that, man. Those with the side characters and shit. You did all those side quests.
I did everything. I mean, the main ones I'd say are like the good ones, are those like main side stories. But I did everything.
No, I didn't. I haven't even done close. I've done almost no side quests. Have you done the character ones though? No.
Really? You should do those. Those are like part of the main story almost.
Dude, I don't have time, man. What are we doing? I still haven't even finished the game, and I'm not doing those. Like, imagine how long... I'd still be on Act 1 if I was doing that.
I guess so. They're good, though.
Oh, no, I'm sure they are, but, like...
I feel like they're such companions to the main story. Like, you get so much insight about Jin and... Oh, there's some really good ones.
There's some good stories that I'm like, I wish I could find out what happened here, but I really can't be bothered playing 7 side missions where I'm really into this main story and I just kind of want to see what happens, and I get to play once a week sort of thing.
I'd play the Yuriko ones. There's only 2 of those.
Yeah.
Those are really good. Also the ones with... What's that thief girl's name again? I don't remember her name. Yuri?
Starts with Y. Y. No. You mean the main side character?
Yeah.
Like your main
Yuna, that's her name. Yeah. Her ones are pretty good. I said Yuri, that is what I said first. Yeah. But yeah, those are some good ones. There's obviously the ones with Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Masako. Those are like...
Lady Masako's story seems interesting, and I would actually kind of like to see that through.
It is, but I think they fumble the end of it, to be honest. Cool. And I think that's one of like my main things with Ghost of Tsushima. One of my main criticisms is the side quests have this weird odd writing they do in pretty much every side quest, where they'll just fake out something. They'll be like, oh, you got to help this guy, but actually he wants to kill you. Like, they do that a million times. And then there's also like, go help this guy, and then when you come back, he's dead. And like, they do that a lot. Or it's just like they do these weird, and you can always tell they've set it up. Like, but you always realize it way before Jin does, and it frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, like you see it coming. You know it's on the way.
You see these twists coming a mile off. The main story doesn't really do it, but the side quests all really do. They really telegraph where they're going with things, and that bothers me a bit. But that's maybe a nitpick more than anything else. Like, it didn't bother me that much, but just a thing I noticed.
Yeah.
But overall, good shit.
Yeah. All right. Fair. What is... Yeah, I mean, just one last thing, I guess, on Ghost of Tsushima. Like, the thing I love about these main games is, like, I do love when I get a chance to play a game, I love to listen to podcasts. And it can't do that when you're playing main story. Like, I'll pause everything if I do a main mission. But that's why I'm not doing side quests when I'm roaming around. I just want to, like, get into combat situations at forts. Like, stealth situations at Sig and just absolutely massacre people. Or do fox dens, or do... I love the shrines, figuring out the, parkour puzzles of the shrines.
Yeah, those are good fun.
Like, I'd love to see more of those in Horizon 2. Those sorts of... Like, you had... When you were doing the long necks viewpoints... They were great little parkour challenges. I'd like more of that in Horizon 2, to be fair. Like, I love a good parkour challenge where you don't have to have a complicated parkour system like Assassin's Creed or anything where it's like you can climb everything. But just something where it's like a bit simple, but you got to think about where you got to go next sort of thing. I like the simple things.
But the climbing itself is good.
It is.
Like,
it is
it's
good.
fun and it works well. Obviously, it's no Assassin's Creed. I mean, Assassin's Creed these days fucking sucks in the parkour department. But it's good. I mean, obviously it's not parkour, it's just climbing, but you know, it's good stuff. And I would love to see in Horizon 2 a bit more climbing, in a few more areas, because it was underutilized, I feel. It'd be nice to be able to climb up like these big structures and stuff and like sort of look out over like the vast landscape of where you are. That'd be nice. I feel like that'd be an element that would be really cool.
Yeah, agreed. But overall, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima, I was giving it like 8.5 after the first act. I was like, I mean, it's really good, but I don't get the hype. But probably like seeing it like a 9, a solid 9, really solid, good game. It's not game of the year. It's not better than Last of Us Part 2 to me, but it's a really good game. Really good game. I love it.
I'm with you.
And then I want to move on to Final Fantasy 7 next. So.
God,
I've got it downloaded already. And that's part of the reason. Like, I could sit and do side quests, but I know how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima. It's fun. I really like it.
Yeah, fuck the side quests. Fuck the side quests. Play Final Fantasy 7.
Thank you. I mean, I'll start streaming Horizon either this coming week or next week. And on the side, I'll be playing a Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Oh, it's so good.
Because what's the next game out? Cyberpunk and Valhalla are the next 2 games this year.
Oh, don't forget about Avengers.
Sorry. Avengers, the best game. What a fucking great game that is. You loved
Masterpiece.
You put out your video about the beta.
I did,
Avengers.
Yeah.
How did that go? You had lots of really like good feedback about that, and people weren't upset about your opinion.
Yeah, no, everyone was totally agreed with me. I didn't get any retards in the comments. It was great.
Well, Marvel fans are notorious for being smart, and same with DC fans. Superhero and comic book fans are notoriously well educated and balanced with their viewpoints, and they don't
really are.
And they don't. The thing I like about them is they don't get upset very easily. Like, they know how to take a joke, and they know how to understand and respect opinions.
Yeah, exactly. So, they don't take anything personally when you're talking about a man wearing spandex. They really don't. Yeah, look, that video it's currently on like 35,000 views, which honestly I didn't expect it to like do bits, but it did.
It's done bits.
Probably because of the title being, Marvel's Avengers is an absolute disaster. People like that. People really like that.
Great title.
But yeah, I've had so many fucking comments. The thing is as well, right? The like to dislike ratio is still incredibly positive. So there's a lot of people that watch this that agreed and just didn't comment because they're like, yep, I agree with everything you're saying, and then just hit the like button. It's like, that was a fun time. But then there's so many people that have just like watched it and they're just infuriated. They're just seething, typing these comments like full caps, like, you're a fucking idiot, stop making videos, you're wrong. I'm like, Jesus fuck, this is the weirdest hill to die on. Fucking Marvel's Avengers, Jesus Christ, it's really not good. Like, I don't get it. And like, even if you enjoy it, to defend it this much is insane to me. It's such a fucking pile of shit.
Oh my god, it's my favorite argument of the whole time of doing YouTube. Anytime anything is, as YouTubers and content creators, as people that are critics, but also personalities, that the literal reason we're here doing a podcast right now is to judge shit. And people are like, you can't judge it. It hasn't come out yet. That's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. And I've heard it for years.
It's so dumb.
Since the day I started doing this shit, I've heard, you can't talk about that. It hasn't come out yet. You're not allowed to have an opinion. What do you want James and I to do on this podcast? So there was a trailer for Avengers. It hasn't come out yet, so we can't say anything. Next on the news
we
list
can't
is,
think about it yet.
fuck out of here.
It's so odd.
Get the fuck out of here.
But people can have positive
job is to
opinions,
judge
though.
it. But
That's
how are we supposed to
okay.
know? So you want me to pay for every game because it might be really good. It doesn't matter about how bad the trailers look. It doesn't matter about anyone else's reviews or opinions. It doesn't matter if I played a beta a month before the game's going to come out.
No,
I'm not allowed to have an opinion. I went and played Odyssey a month before the game came out for 8 hours. I played for 8 hours. What game can you not judge after 8 fucking hours of
look,
playing
it really gets good after 9 hours. You've got to actually, you've got to finish the game to really appreciate it.
How fucking wild is that all the comments are like, you can't say it's a review because you've only played 8 hours. Dude, so many games are only 8 hours. Spider-Man PS4 is 8 hours long. It's not even 8 hours long. That's the whole game. And you're telling me I'm not allowed to have an opinion about it? Wild. You've played a beta for how long? What, an hour? 2 hours? What do you mean you're not allowed to have an opinion? How long should I have to play a game for to know if it's a pile of steaming shit or not? It's one thing to be like, odd. I'm not sure, like Ghost of Tsushima, I'm like, oh, right now it's an 8.5, and I played more of it, I'm like, oh, now it's a 9. That's the subtle changes you're going to have in a game. But you're not going to go from, it's a steaming pile of shit, to, wow, what a great game. That's not happening. You know after an hour. You fucking know it.
Yeah, the base systems in the game, the way it plays, the way it feels, the way it's structured, the way the dialogue's written, is so shit. It's not going to suddenly drastically improve. They didn't make the prologue play like shit, did they? They didn't go, you know what, we need the first 2 hours, I reckon it should play like a PlayStation 2 game. And not just that, a bad PlayStation 2 game. But after that, I reckon we should make a polished AAA experience. Just to fake them out, just to mess with them a little bit. That's not the fucking case. If it's shit when you play the first 2 hours, the whole thing is going to play like shit. The gear system isn't suddenly going to become a balanced and fun experience. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh no. Did we fucking... Oh, for fuck's sake, you fucking cunt. Hey man, you fucking disconnected. Yeah, I was talking about Avengers. What did I say?
You said they're not gonna make 2 hours of a polished game, not a pile of shit, and then they're gonna make a AAA polished game.
Yeah, there's gonna be no difference after the first 2 hours. It's ridiculous to suggest there would be. And yeah, I don't know. And like people are saying, like I'm just going through the comments now. I have got some retarded fucking comments here. We've got this guy who's like, you're complaining, saying it's a lot of words just for views. And the you saying that it's a beta isn't an excuse. Yeah, it is. You don't get to experience all the content, so yes, it is. That's a great comment there, defending Marvel's Avengers. Because I didn't play every last piece of content, I don't know that the gameplay is bad, apparently. So that's great. Wonderful.
Yeah. People are stupid. And they're stupid people. And that's the end of it. Yeah, anyone that says you're not allowed to have an opinion unless you've played a game's fucking dumb. You're dumb if you think that.
Yeah, it's fucking
You
stupid.
know when you watch a trailer if you think something's good or not. And you're at the very least, you're allowed to judge that. You should be allowed to judge that. You are allowed to judge that. When you watch a demo, you're like, man, that looks fucking bad. Or, wow, that looks awesome. I don't need to go see the Snyder Cut of Justice League to know if it's going to be good or not. I know from the trailer, it's going to be a steaming pile of shit like the original movie was. You know what I'm saying? And
probably worse, if anything, you know?
If anything, it's going to be worse. And I know from the Matt Reeves Batman trailer that movie is going to fucking make me come. So,
yeah. Well, the trailer already did, so...
The trailer did multiple times.
That movie's gonna make me come fucking buckets.
Dude, buckets. Buckets of cum.
Yeah. It's gonna be sick.
Well, let's talk about it.
Alright.
DC, EC.
Let's talk DC.
DC FanDome, whatever the fuck.
We're talking about DC on the As Always podcast. This is crazy.
It's a rarity. I was going to wear my As Always Entertainment Marvel logo shirt, but it's really cold today, so I'm wearing a jumper. Not a jacket, James. Relax. A jumper.
Okay.
I thought about a jacket.
Sure you don't want to put on a coat?
I thought it's not a coat. I don't own coats.
Are you sure about
jackets. I live in Australia.
You did wear a coat that one time, like it was a coat. I'm sure of it.
It was
like it wasn't just a
thicker. It was a thicker jacket.
Yeah, it was a pretty thick jacket, borderline coat.
I don't own a coat. I don't own a coat.
But if someone looked at it though, it might not have been one. But if someone looked at it, they'd be like, "That's probably a coat," and then you could correct them and say it's not. But then they'd be like, "But it looks like one."
Yeah, right.
So I think that it's a coat. Yeah. Okay, let's save. Would you want to save the Batman for the last thing?
Because we're going to talk about it the most.
Yeah, we'll talk about all the other bullshit first. Talk about the Snyder Cut first.
Let's talk about the Snyder Cut because we get that out of the way. Looks like any of these DCU movies look CGI pile of trash. Looks like it's actually not a pile of shit.
Yeah, looks no good. But you don't. But see, the thing is, right? It's for grown-ups. It's not for children.
I see what you're saying. So like making something grounded, realistic, and believable for children, and having cartoon CG is good.
Yeah, this is for adults, which is what Zack Snyder said. He said as much. So, and
Zack Snyder's a really good director. So that's
he's an incredible director. He directed the incredible movie 300, which is a really good film, and looks incredible.
It looks like a documentary set in history when you watch it.
Yeah. It's incredible. Better than Troy. I
know we're joking and we're having a laugh, but don't say that ever again. Don't fucking say that ever again.
But yeah,
triggered.
What were we talking about? The Snyder Cut, yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna suck because fucking Zack Snyder, and he makes terrible films.
He just makes terrible movies, doesn't he? He just doesn't know how to make it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen Batman vs Superman, it's just events happening in an order that doesn't really feel like the right order, and he also gets Batman wrong, and he also gets Superman wrong, and it's a clusterfuck, and it sucks. So why anyone would think that he would improve the already terrible Justice League is absolutely beyond me.
Yeah. No, but Superman's suit's black.
Oh, that's pretty epic and mature.
Yeah.
And adult.
So it's darker and grounded. Like, literally, we make fun of Zack Snyder for, like, it was, it's just dark and grounded. Oh, you mean by making the color palette super dark doesn't make the movie concepts and tone dark. That's based on its writing and narrative and characters and acting. And none of it's dark. It's all embarrassing and childish.
Yeah, and
but
also...
they're like, no, let's make his suit black. It's really dark.
But also, Superman's not meant to be dark. Like, that's dumb. If you're making Superman dark, you're doing it wrong. Superman's a light, hopeful character. That's sort of the point. He's not even got close to getting Superman right.
I don't know, man. I don't know where this black suit's from comic books. I don't know. I'm not a fucking Superman fan. I hate Superman.
Yeah, well, it is. I did as a comic book thing, but also, like, just in general. Like, when you watch Man of Steel, which is... It's the only Snyder movie I've seen in full.
Yeah, same.
And
I've seen 300 in full.
Oh, I have not. I've seen that clip you sent me and I hated it.
That movie makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, Man of Steel is just not what I expect from a Superman film. It lacks hope. It lacks this, sense of like there should be vibrant, bright colors. Like, and even if you're doing like this sense of a world that doesn't have hope, Superman should be that hope. And when you see him, his suit should be bright blue and red. Like, he shouldn't be this dull, horrible, dull colors. There should be this brightness to Superman. He should have this optimism about him. He's very Captain America in that way.
Don't ever fucking compare Captain America to that pile of shit of a superhero.
Hey, look, Superman can be good. It's all right. Superman can be fine.
Smallville's good. Smallville's a great show.
I've never seen it, but
Smallville, great show. Great show. The only time I've ever liked Superman. Yeah. But ever compare him to Captain America again, I'll fucking jump through this screen and choke you.
You could try. But he's, you need those elements in there to make him, but Snyder doesn't seem to get it at all. And he also thinks that Batman should murder people as well. So, that's great, and Batman's I guess. My boy. Fucking Jesus.
Yeah. No, but it looks how it looks. It looks how it looks.
Yeah. I think I've realised that these movies, these Snyder films, are for a specific cult following he has, and they're not for me, and I am never gonna understand them or understand why people like them. And people are gonna love it. People are gonna fucking love this film, and that's fine. I just don't.
I feel happy for those people. I feel happy for those people that have been asking for it, and then they're gonna get it.
I don't. They're toxic cunts.
Oh, they are. I was just joking.
Oh, they are. I was just joking. I didn't mean it.
I don't mean it. Like, they're the type of people that I say, but I love triggering them because I know there's Snyder bots that search Zack Snyder's name and then just troll through Twitter
brilliant.
to respond
I love it.
negative comments about him. So every chance I get, at every turn, I'll say something negative about Zack Snyder to trigger. And I recognize some of these bots now. Like, I actually recognize them. That's how common they are.
I have most of them muted, and I think a lot of them have me blocked anyway. So
yeah, I don't really block and mute people anymore.
That's good. I mute people all the
hearing
time.
about-
Because my fucking mentions are just full all the time. And so I need to get only stuff I want to see in there, otherwise I'm never going to see anything.
Yeah.
So I've also switched on. Twitter has this great feature where you can switch on not to have things in your mentions from people that don't follow you, from people that have a blank profile picture, people that haven't verified their phone number and stuff. So you only get stuff from people that follow you and that have actual meaningful things to say and that actually like you want to see, like stuff you actually want to see. And it makes it so useful because I get so many tweets these days that I just don't want all the drivel in there. So it's so useful to just have, I just get tweets from people that I care about seeing tweets from. So that's cool. Thanks, Twitter. For that.
I haven't really adjusted that. I was just looking through those settings in on my phone. Yeah, I haven't adjusted any of those. I might have to. I don't know, my Twitter's been not that bad recently, to be honest. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been that bad. I've actually kind of enjoyed Twitter the last couple of weeks. It's been
well, I was locked out.
Oh yeah, that must have been why I enjoyed it so much, to be fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You weren't there to ruin it.
Yeah, now I'm back though, so we're all good. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I'm here again.
We're all good.
I don't tweet as much these days though.
No, you don't. It's true.
I used to tweet like every minute. Now I, tweet every few hours, maybe a bit more if something is going on. But
it's too much still, but it's good.
But I mostly go to Discord now. Like if something happens and I want to talk about something or whatever, I'll just go to Discord and chat with everybody.
Yeah.
But if there's like a big announcement, I'll tweet about it.
Yeah. I love Twitter.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's not been too terrible recently.
Twitter's good and also horrible, but I couldn't live without it. I think I'd go insane.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so I didn't really see anything from the Suicide Squad movie. Was there anything worth talking about?
There was...
and I didn't watch Wonder Woman 1984 trailer, whatever it is, because I didn't see the first one, and I'm not going to see this one, so I didn't bother watching the trailer.
I did watch the trailer, because I watched the first Wonder Woman, like, it was fine. They kind of butchered the end of it, but, like, it was sort of alright. It was like a bad MCU film, so, like, like a Thor the Dark World or something.
Or a Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's better than that, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was alright. So, I watched the trailer for the new one. Not really interested. I don't think the 80s setting is as cool as the World War II setting that was the first movie. So, yeah, no. It's whatever. Was it World War II or World War One? I don't fucking remember.
Didn't see it. Don't know.
But it's yeah. It was just fine. It was just like looked like a fine comic book movie, but not for me because I don't care about DC. So.
And even with James Gunn, I'm not going to see the Suicide Squad movie, so I didn't bother watching anything about it.
I tell you what, it wasn't a trailer, but it was like a behind-the-scenes like feature thing where the actors are talking about it and James Gunn's talking about it and stuff. I'm like, this actually looks like something I could enjoy. Like the DC stuff. Like I don't know a lot of these characters, so there's that. I'm obviously way more into Marvel, but it felt very James Gunn and had a lot of that to it. It looks like a very like big sort of larger than life film, and there's a lot of like he just sort of went for it, like went kind of like balls to the wall, just let's make a comic book film, rather than like the classic DC like Zack Snyder approach of when he's made this grounded gritty film. He just sort of was like just sort of fucking went for it, and I really appreciate that. And it honestly, I might watch it. It depends. Once there's like a proper trailer, I might be able to gauge it a bit better, but I think the design looks really cool, the color palette, all of that stuff, and the way they're doing sort of the visual effects and special effects and the physical practical stuff too is really cool. So what he said it is it's like the Suicide Squad and like comic books and all of that stuff, the wacky stuff you get there crossed with like a war film. He's trying to put those two together and have like the emotional stuff that he does with like Guardians, but also the funny stuff he does with Guardians and sort of meld that together. And I think it works well for Suicide Squad as a thing. So honestly, it's the only like DC movie other than like the Batman that I'm looking at and I'm like, that actually looks like it'd be pretty good. But it's mostly because of James Gunn.
Yeah.
being there to sort of bring these characters and elevate them on a platform that makes me actually care about these people that otherwise I wouldn't care about, other than like Harley Quinn, because she's, people know who she is. But yeah honestly, it looks kind of cool.
Okay, maybe I'll wait for it. I'll watch a trailer then when it actually drops, since it wasn't a trailer. But I'll keep an eye out for it. Gotham Knights. Let's go to the games. Gotham Knights. Yeah, 2 games: Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad game.
Yes. Yeah.
So Suicide Squad game is made by Rocksteady, and it's set in the Arkham universe.
It is indeed.
And there's 4 characters. Is that right? They're only doing 4 of the Suicide Squad.
I believe so. Yeah.
So you've got Deadshot.
Mm-hmm.
Harley
for some
Quinn.
reason is black now, even though he was white in Arkham.
That's true.
The games, which is, that's cool if that's what he wants. But
I feel like it's Anyway, Harley Quinn, Boomerang,
yes. Mm-hmm.
and then a shark guy. I don't know who that is.
The shark guy, I don't know who he is either. But you got these 4 guys.
What like it was sort of whatever. Like I wasn't that impressed. And Superman shows up and he's murdering a guy, and Superman's a bad guy. And I'm like, I mean, like you said on Twitter, I'll play it solely to kill Superman. I'm with you there. But I wasn't that
good.
Interested in it, to be honest.
We could do the 4 pillars, kill Superman. We can team up because it's co-op.
Yeah, of course it is. It didn't feel like it felt like both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad were just sort of gimmick co-op games. Yeah,
that's what I'm getting from them. But I believe that, from what I've heard, that Suicide Squad game it's not a co-op based game. It just has co-op. So like when you play Halo and it's like drop in, drop out sort of co-op, and so someone could just join and you could play a Halo mission together, but it really is like a single player game. It's sort of like that. So the game is like a single player game, but you can play it with other people that can join. So I don't think it's like a Gotham Knights where it almost feels like it's built for like co-op.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could turn around and just be like a very gimmicky co-op game, which is what a lot of co-op games do. And it's just like all based around co-op, and the story's not really there. Just sort of exists to allow the game to exist. So
now, here's my hot take for you, James. Okay. I love a good hot take.
Okay.
People are talking about this and Rocksteady, and they're like, no, it's going to be good. Trust of Rocksteady. They're one of the best game developers in the business. Hey, they're not, and the Arkham games aren't that good.
Don't like that. No, we're not having this conversation.
Yeah, like they're good. They're really
brilliant.
Good,
they're great
but
games.
They're not brilliant, and you're overrating them. You're all overrating them.
How many? You've literally played Arkham Knight, and that's it.
I played Arkham City.
Have you played Arkham City though?
Yes, I've.
You played the whole thing. You beat the whole game.
I beat the whole game.
What?
Yes.
What? How? And how do you not think it's...
The first one I played was Arkham City when it came out.
Did you... I don't know how you can't love it. Especially because you're such a big Batman fan.
Yeah, but the game, like, nah.
What didn't you like?
I love Batman. It was fine. Like, it was just sort of like, oh yeah, that was fine. I liked Arkham Knight a lot. I actually liked Arkham Knight more.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Because it's just a game. The gameplay isn't that great in any of those games. I don't enjoy the gameplay in any of them that much.
What do you mean? It's incredible.
No, it's not incredible.
So good. Yes, it is. What the fuck are you talking about? You play literally. I know people say it all the time, but you feel like Batman, like when you're gliding through the wherever you are, or when you're like sitting on these perches above all these enemies, and you go around a room and you use your tools to take all of these guys out without them seeing you.
That's cool. I like them. That's cool, man. That's cool.
But it's so well made. Like the level design is incredible.
They're not Horizon. They're not fucking.
But they're not trying to be those games.
No, I'm not saying
they're different games.
I'm saying they're not on the level of a.
No, I'd say they are. I'd say they're on that level, but in their own right.
Close. Not in their own right.
They're as polished. They've got just as good level design, but they're trying to do something different. The story is engaging. The characters are fucking brilliant. The score is fantastic. The art design and direction, the way they compose these, the way that Gotham looks, it's fucking incredible. It's stellar. They're like some of the best superhero games. They're some of the best games. The way that you put the combat together, everything is so well balanced. The progression system, It's so they're fantastic games. This is heresy, and I don't like it.
No, you can all go fuck yourself. How about that? How about that?
No.
Because I know how mad everyone's going to be listening to this. I already fucking...
I'm mad, and I'm not even listening to it. I'm here.
There's fucking levels to game quality, and they're not there. They're just... the bullshit I was hearing today of people like, oh my god, I can't believe Rocksteady are doing this. They're the best in the business. They're fucking not.
Well, I wouldn't say they're the best in the business. Like,
they're the best at making
let's not get ahead of
superhero
ourselves.
games, which is the most low average fucking bar to have in games these days.
No. What do you mean?
Fuck.
Superhero games can be as good as any other game.
Nah.
This is a bad take.
I couldn't name a superhero game that's as good as any other game. Like, in terms of, if you're comparing it to the top tier level games, the top of the top, the creme de la creme of games today, they're not, none of them are there. None of them are there. The best Arkham game is not at the level. I don't get it. I don't get everyone's fucking hard on all of a sudden. It feels like
it's not. It's
always 5 years ago. None of you
fucks
none of you fucks were talking about this 5 years ago. Over the last 12 months, all
were you here 5 years ago though?
We were doing podcasts 5 years ago.
Yeah, but were we though? Look, 5 years ago, Arkham Knight came out, and everyone, you know, it was a rocky one. Arkham Knight, you know, like it looks great and it's a good game. Like I think it's aged a lot better. But when it came out, it was just sort of like a lot of people were disappointed because it didn't live up to what Arkham City was, which was such a strong, well-paced and well-structured game. And it's
for a superhero game, yeah, really.
No,
good.
just for
really
a
good.
game.
I think
Stop
they're
saying
really
this.
Good. I think they're really good. I think they're the best.
They're incredible
games.
They're
really
so much fun. Asylum and City are just fucking brilliant, incredible games. They're so much fun. Just going through like the combat and the stealth, they're such well balanced experiences, and you've got all these characters that are so great. The environment's so good. They're just such good games.
You keep saying all these characters are so great. Who's the fuck is so great?
All of them. So what do you mean? They're all so compelling and interesting. And everyone else. Like,
who's
Alfred's great.
Else?
Whenever,
Who the
like,
fuck is everyone else?
Like, you're always talking to Oracle. She's fucking great. I like her as a character. Alfred's great.
Not though, are they?
All of the villains are fantastic.
Whatever.
Harley Quinn is brilliant. You've got Scarecrow. He's fucking fantastic. This is ridiculous.
I don't feel that way, bro. I just don't. I don't.
How can you love Batman and then play those games and be like, yeah, they're just fine?
I would rather watch the Batman movies than play a Batman game. I love superhero movies more than I love superhero games.
I can't.
I don't really want to play a superhero as much as I'd rather just watch one.
Why though? Superheroes are so cool. Playing as a superhero is great. And especially those, like the Batman mechanics are some of the best stealth mechanics. They're so much fun to play. Just being that Dark Knight and like not killing, and you know, it's not fucking Snyder film, taking out all of these guys in a room without them even knowing you were there. Just the way that each individual room that you have to go through is designed to allow you to do that. Like the environmental stuff you can do, the way that walls are set up, and like the way your like perches are. Like everything is so well crafted to make the experience as good as it can be. Like it is so they just like I think what Batman Arkham does in terms of just its base gameplay is well enough to stand up against some of the best stealth games. Just if you're comparing it to something like a Splinter Cell, I think it holds up incredibly well just against that. Just the stealth experience. Certainly not a top
tier game either, though.
Yeah, but when you're talking about stealth games, I mean, when you look at something like a Metal Gear or a Splinter Cell or a Hitman, and then you look at a Batman Arkham, I think it stands up against those games as an incredible stealth experience.
All right, bro. All right. I don't feel the same way. I just don't. I don't think Batman or any superhero game is a top tier game. I haven't played a top tier superhero game.
I think you need to play them again.
It's a B plus.
Because you played. You're saying you played Arkham City when it came out, and that was 9 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, I played Arkham City when it came out. I played Arkham Knight a year after it came out.
And Arkham Knight isn't that good. So, like, go back and play Asylum and fucking City. They're on Game Pass, the remasters. Go play them. They're great.
No.
And Asylum, something about it is always going to make it one of my favourite ones. Purely
but you played it when it came out. It's a nostalgia for you now.
It's not a nostalgia. It's just a good game. It's I don't like this. I don't understand how you can think this.
Seeing people when they just tell me it's just a good game.
It is just a good game.
It's not what I'm looking for, man. You saying it's just a good game does not mean it's a good game to me.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, you never played Asylum and you played City 9 years ago. I just don't think that this can be a genuine opinion that you have today.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's no way. There is no way.
Bro. I can judge it. Don't be that guy. You can't judge it. You've never played it.
But I just feel like you're judging it based on this memory you have of it. Whereas I feel like if you play it now, there's no way.
This memory I have of it. I've played the game from start to finish.
So long ago. There's no way that like you play it now and be like, this is just an average experience. Like, I don't understand. It's got all of the things that you would
average,
like.
I said really good, but it's not.
Did you though?
It doesn't even rub the nutsack of God of War, of Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'd say it's better than Horizon.
Ghost of Tsushima. What did you just say?
Horizon's not that good. Like
it is though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It is that good.
It's good. Yeah, it's great, and I really love it.
A guy that wears a cape and scared of bats. What the fuck are you talking about?
Why are you insulting Batman? You like Batman.
Because you insulted Horizon. You don't do that to me, and you should know better.
Look, Horizon, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's really good. I'm just saying it's not as good as the Arkham games. It's just, it's a Witcher clone, and that's fine, You can be a Witcher clone, but The Witcher already did it, and it did it better.
A post-apocalyptic scenario with monster dinosaur machines definitely sounds like The Witcher to me. You're right.
Yeah, you're going around, you're doing these quests, you're getting this different gear. It's the same game, basically. But, that's alright. I get it because it's the first, Witcher-style RPG you played, so, you're attached to it in that way, whereas, us real gamers, we played The Witcher 3 first. When we played Horizon, we were like, it's a bit of a step down, But it's, different for different people, I guess. And what I'm trying to say is Batman Arkham's really good. So,
yeah,
you're
you
wrong.
Would say that.
Objectively, you're wrong objectively.
You also like cartoons. You're also an adult, and you like cartoons. So that's fine.
Good,
and I get that's
good
why
cartoons.
You like to play games.
If that's where we're going with this, I've already won. Because nobody's going to back you, because this is absolute shit that you're talking.
Why you'd want to play a game that's based on a cartoon of superheroes. And that's what the Arkham games are. They're cartoon games.
Yeah.
All the voice actors are the cartoon voice actors.
Yep.
All the way they've written the characters like cartoons. I get that you like cartoons.
Yeah, and that's great.
You're a grown man that watches cartoons.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yep.
And that's fine.
And that's great. Yeah, it is fine. Cartoons. And it's good, actually. It's actually good. And it's great.
Good. I'm glad we've established that.
Yeah.
Fucking watch your cartoons, mate. Oh, God. And my camera's fucking shat itself. Well, I feel like that was we haven't had a good argument in a while. So
good.
That was,
it's good fun, but it's all right, man, because we have positive discourse. We can agree with each other and respect each other's opinions in the marketplace of ideas. So it's all right.
I don't know why you're doing definitely a South African. Not even me. You're definitely just doing a South African person. And I feel like you're being Dave Rubin, and I don't know why that makes you
I was, but you used to say it all the time on the podcast, and because Ollie's been re-listening to all of them, he keeps reminding me of things that happened. And he was talking about, we had during our political phase.
I forgot we had a full-on political phase.
We did. It was weird. We had Jamie on Clubhouse, and he was the first Clubhouse guest. And you introduced him with a big long speech about how he's a raging leftist, and it's all right. But it's all right because we can disagree on things and still be friends. And he went on for so long about it. And Ollie reminded me because he's re-listened to all these podcasts, and it's so fucking funny.
Ollie keeps messaging me about old podcasts and stories and shit. Oh Jesus Christ! Fuck! I keep knocking shit. Yeah, dude, it's so funny. Like I don't know how he's managing to pull through it. Because I'm like, dude, you're going through, like, us talking about Assassin's Creed Empire for, like, that whole sort of phase.
For, like, 100 episodes.
And I'm like, and he goes, it's rough when you're going through, like, episodes for, like, 4 hours talking about Desmond's son. It's tough. It's tough, bro. It's fucking tough.
I can't believe we talk about Assassin's Creed so much.
Yeah.
Like, so much. Like, we'd do entire podcasts, weeks back to back to back, where we'd only talk about Assassin's Creed Empire speculation.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me. But,
wild.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, let's move on. The last thing is this Batman trailer.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thoughts? What do you feel? I mean, I think we both know how we feel, but let's deep dive into this.
Let's do that. Yeah.
We finally saw Robert Pattinson as Batman. Both of us have been on board from the beginning with this. The concept, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Casting, we've both been on board with this from the beginning.
100%. If you haven't been on board, you've never seen him act in anything but Twilight, because
I've never. Have you seen Twilight? We've had this conversation. Have you seen Twilight?
I've seen the first Twilight. I think it was on in the background during something. I've never gone out of my way to watch it though. It's never really been something I've been into. I don't know if they're good or not. Well, I just know people hate them for some reason. I don't know if that's because they're shit films or people just don't like them.
I mean, they look fucking abysmal, and I've never seen Twilight film though. And I this morning I got up, the trailer drops. I'm with Jared and his girlfriend having breakfast, and I go, Robert, the new Batman trailer drops, and she goes, who's Batman? And I said, Robert Pattinson. She's like, oh my god, that's terrible.
And then she's like, no, I mean, who's Batman? What does that mean? What are you talking about? Women, am I right?
Got him.
Joking.
And she goes, no, that's a terrible idea. I'm like, what have you seen him in? She goes, Twilight. I'm like, well, I've never seen Twilight, but I've seen him in many, many films, and he's amazing. Trust me. Like, he's amazing.
He's incredible.
Goes, really? I said, he's so good. He's such a good actor. And I'm like, but every time I talk to someone that's seen Twilight, they're like, nah, they don't like him. Because obviously it's bad, and he's bad in it. Because everyone that's seen it's like
Twilight's
not
bad
on board.
then, I guess, yeah.
True.
So
but,
that's it.
Man, killed it. Looks amazing.
Oh.
Looks amazing.
So good. So fucking good. It's got the makings of being my favorite Batman film. And that's tough because I love the Nolan films. But what I said this on Discord is the Nolan films, as great and as like borderline perfect as they are as films, what I always wanted and what I always felt like they just missed. And it's not for lack of not for lack of trying isn't what I was trying to say. It's not because they missed it by missing it. It's because Nolan didn't want to go for that route.
Yeah, it's not what they were going for.
Nolan's films are translating Batman to his version of what he believes would be a Batman reality, what it would feel like in real life. And that's great, and I love it for that, and I think it's an incredible interpretation. But what I always wanted and felt like I needed was just that feel of like the comic book coming to life. Obviously translating it to real life in a sense, but like what this movie seems to do is it takes Batman as a comic book and translates that to screen in such an incredible way. And it has those, what I feel like is those fantastical elements that the Nolan trilogy doesn't have because it's making it real. And that to me is what pushes it to be, if they nail this, it could easily be my favorite Batman film just for that reason alone, because that to me is something that I just think is so special about Batman. It's what feels almost fantasy about it. And Gotham feeling like this fantastical place that doesn't really exist but almost kind of does, and that sort of thing. So that tone and that direction of it alone, I think for me, if they nail it, it could be my favorite take on Batman in film.
I completely agree. I think it felt like that grounded Nolan experience in terms of the way it's filmed and the practical effects of it all. Like, you couldn't tell if anything was CGI. It all just looked like that sort of Nolan tone, which I love. But like you said, they're going for that certain Batman fantasy that's very comic book based, very comic book grounded. You can't even tell when it's set. Like, when is it set? Is it modern? It looks like it's an 80s, 90s sort of era.
I think it's 90s is when it's meant to be set.
Which is what it looks like. Which perfect setting for it. And that era of Batman where he's like at these crime scenes. Batman's still sort of a myth to some people. He scares the public. They're not all on board with who Batman is just yet in the media. And these villains are sort of just figuring him out as well and calling him out, and he's still making that name for himself, and that's a great period of time. And the way they shot, like that combat scene where he beats up one of those grunts, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Oh,
holy
beautiful.
shit.
It was fucking beautiful. It was like something taken straight out of like an Arkham CGI trailer, like just pure Batman, and it was incredible. It looked great. It looked so real, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, 100%. And then, just the line of like, they're like, who are you supposed to be? And he's like, I'm vengeance. I'm like, oh god, His Batman voice is good too. He has a good Batman voice.
Yeah,
not too over the top, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that groaning is there.
Yeah, it's nice, and it feels like a Batman when he's like younger as well. I love that because he's in his second year at this point, and we're gonna get to see that and the way that he handles with things. You know, he hasn't got the same sort of like finesse as like an older Batman would have. Like he's very brutal, and that's really exciting to see. And there's that detective aspect of it because, like I said, it is a detective film, which is like a core part of Batman. And I feel like we don't get to see that explored enough in a lot of media. Obviously, they do it in the cartoons and obviously in the comics and stuff like that. A little bit in the games here and there. And Nolan did do a bit of it. But it's really interesting to see a film that's going to be centered around Batman as a detective because that's what he is. He's the world's greatest detective. That's the point of Batman. Everything else is, kind of secondary, although it is also, part of who he is. So that's really exciting to see how they do that. And obviously with Riddler being a huge part of this as well. That's going to be great...
Who's playing the Riddler?
Fuck, I don't know. I'm sure you can find it if you Google it. My mouse ain't working. There it is.
I'm looking up now. Paul Dano. Oh, that's a great casting.
I need to see who that is because I have no idea.
How's Colin Farrell as Penguin? Unrecognizable.
Oh, yeah. He looks fucking
Ridiculous.
incredible.
Ridiculous. And he's Colin Farrell's amazing.
Oh, that is a good casting for Ridley, yeah.
What's he in? I forget. I'm trying to remember what he's in.
He was in that movie with fucking, what's it called, Prisoners? With, he was the...
that's who I'm remembering.
Creepy guy?
Yes, he is. He is a creepy guy. That's a really good casting for Riddler, to be fair. I like that a lot. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, it is. This movie seems to be really well cast. With people that you almost
Andy
wouldn't
Serkis
expect.
As Alfred. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I never would have thought to do that, but that's really, really cool casting. There's some... Yeah, it looks like they've really, cast this film well. And everyone sort of fits the role they're playing, and they've really, really cared about it. So, yeah, everything about this is shaping up to be something that looks, incredible.
Yeah. Definitely agreed. Amazing. That was my only thing I liked out of this DC fandom. I don't know, whatever the fuck.
It was the only thing that I got like proper hyped about. Like I think the Suicide Squad movie looks interesting. It looks cool for James Gunn, but like this is like I wanted the movie to be this good, but I wanted the trailer to make me think the movie was going to be this good, but I didn't know if it would. Like I thought maybe the trailer would come out and the movie would just sort of fumble a little bit, but the trailer was just fucking incredible. It's pure Batman. It gets everything right, and it just looks like it's going to be such a fucking good film. I'm fucking ready for it.
Yeah, no, as am I. Good times. Let's I guess wrap the podcast up with some fucking Assassin's Creed conversation because views and money.
Nice.
But we have Ashraf Ismail, creative director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, has been fired from Ubisoft.
Former creative director, we should probably say.
Former creative director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla has been fired from Ubisoft.
He has been.
How do you feel, James?
Pretty indifferent about it, I guess. I don't really, I feel like obviously it should have happened, but I don't care about Ashraf enough. I'm just sort of happy that Ubisoft are doing, doing something, getting rid of these people, being like, Ashraf should be fired from Ubisoft. Obviously, of course he should.
Good riddance.
So, good. But beyond that, I mean, obviously I don't care. Like, I'm not rejoicing, but I'm also not fucking sad. Like, I've seen a lot of people like, it's a shame, but it had to happen. I'm like, how is it a shame? What do you mean? How is it a fucking shame? I don't understand.
It's a shame that he's a piece of shit.
It's a shame that he had to be a cunt, but like, it's not a shame that they got rid of him. Like, what the fuck? No, it's a good thing that they got rid of him, which is what they had to do. Now get rid of everybody else and, get rid of Andy. Even though, there's been reports that he might have gone, he's still got it in his bio that he works for Ubisoft. So,
but he's not on social media.
He is on social media. He keeps unfollowing people and following people. So you're seeing his like follower and like count and shit changed.
So odd. That's so odd.
So he is still on social media. He's just not saying anything. So yeah, he get rid of him.
He needs to go. He needs to go.
He needs to go. Yeah, need to get rid of all these people. But you know, getting rid of these people is good, and it's great to see that they've finally got rid of Ash. He can't work for the company anymore, obviously. And people like Sergei Hascott, fucking great to see him gone. Like,
yeah, 100%.
It's Ubisoft are changing things up, and that's good.
Yeah, I believe when I see it. Honestly, I'm so disenfranchised with all this, man. Like, I totally stopped work on my real life history project. Like, I've had people ask me, how's that going? I'm like, not well at all. Haven't worked on it once. Haven't read a page of any of these books since this all went down. I have zero excitement for Valhalla. Zero excitement. I'm sure I'll play it, and I'll
really.
Yeah, and even then, I feel like I'm being fucking honeydicked. Like, Darby's fucking going off like this has been planned for 10 years with some of his tweets saying the best moment in video games it's in an unreleased game. Darby, I get what you're doing, man. I love it and I respect it, and you're an incredible writer, and I fucking love the shit out of you. But you're honeydicking me, and I'm not falling for it. That's a fucking honeydick.
I feel like part of it is like he's fucking with everyone. I feel like part of it's got to be that. Like, it's not all genuine. I feel like part of it is he's like, oh, the best moment in video games hasn't happened yet because it's not out, guys. You're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna be hyped. Like, I think he genuinely thinks like, oh, it's great quality stuff. But I don't think he's trying to say like, guys, you're all gonna think this is the best game ever.
We're gonna love Layla.
You don't already love Layla? Because I do.
No, we're not, man. We're not.
My favorite protagonist. I just find it difficult to say no to Darby. I find it difficult to be like, nah, Darby, you're wrong. Because I don't know. I just love him. He's never done wrong.
I love Darby. There's no dispute, and I'm sure his narrative direction will be great. But I'm not gonna he's not necessarily. He is writing script elements, but he's not the script writer. He's the narrative director.
True. He said he's done a lot though. Like, he's done a lot of writing for it.
I hope so. God, they need his script writing. They need it. They need it for those key moments.
And I'm sure if he didn't think a certain turn of phrase worked, he'd tell the person writing it. Maybe you could change this thing. Or maybe you could tweak it here. Like, so I feel like his writing will be throughout things even that he hasn't written himself. He's like, at least, some of his style will be there. Which is cool. But there's little bits you notice here and there, like even in the gameplay demo where you're like, Darby probably wrote that, or at least had a hand in forging like some of that dialogue in the way that characters speak like they're from that period, which is something he does a lot. He sort of nails that. Like in Black Flag, when you listen to like Edward speak, he sounds like a guy that lived then. He doesn't sound like someone that lives now. And I think that's really cool. So you notice some of that here and there, but
no doubt, man. Like Valhalla, in terms of like, honestly, like I don't know about the Assassin's Creed stuff. I've seen zero Assassin's Creed stuff from this, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm excited for the Assassin's Creed elements. Viking game looks solid. I love the setting. Like I love that sort of setting. Especially I'm fucking after watching all of The Last Kingdom. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait for this setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I actually love the setting in that way, and the history in that time, the locations, the Vikings and Saxons, all that sort of stuff, the different historical figures involved. Like, I'm keen for that stuff. Raiding villages, having your own ship and jumping off and raiding a village, that's cool gameplay mechanics. If it's polished well, what that studio and team can do mechanically as a game, the team that made Black Flag, that's strong, man. Like, I believe it'll be a fun game to play. Social stealth being back, like, there's all these things I like and I'm on board for, man. But then you got the writing, and that's in the hands of Darby, which is the only hands I care about and I trust. But I feel like I'm being honeydicked. Is it just me? Am I the only one that feels like I'm being honeydicked? No,
I do feel it a little bit. Like, I do feel like Darby's really going all out to be like, you are gonna fucking love this game. Like, and I just think, like, it's conflicting, because when I listen to Darby say so, I'm like, it's Darby, and he knows what he's doing. But then it's Assassin's Creed, and it's shit. So, it's so conflicting. I'm like, how do these two things, there is good writing and Assassin's Creed don't go together. That doesn't make sense. We haven't had good writing in Assassin's Creed for 7 years. So, it's really tough to believe. But I mean, obviously I can't say Darby's a fucking liar. All I can do is be, skeptical. But, still listen to what he has to say, I guess, and be like, yeah, cool. I'm hyped regardless. Like, I think it's less hype, it's more intrigue. I'm very intrigued to see what he's done because he seems very proud of it. And I've wanted to see Darby back for a while. The soundtrack is fantastic. Setting is brilliant. And everything is coming together to make this what could be a really, really cool Assassin's Creed game. And, I'd like to see that. But with all the stuff that has been happening at Ubisoft, it has made it difficult to really give a shit. The only thing that's really kept me going is Darby's tweets. And, he's put a lot of things into perspective and it's made me reconsider and be like, yeah, he's making a good point. I maybe should care more. Maybe shouldn't just completely cast it aside, just because of these few people. It's difficult to do that because it has really, tarnished the brand and the company. But, then there are all those people that have worked really hard on this and people I care about like Darby. And that does make me, I am looking forward to playing the game. But I am very skeptical about the stuff that Darby's talking about, I think.
I'm just looking through all those tweets at the moment. Like, some of the shit he's saying, man. Mm-hmm. Like, talking about the scene in question hasn't happened yet. His favorite video game scene. Someone said, this guy, Assassin's Creed Madness. God, I can't fucking read. Why am I so fucking dyslexic these days?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, dude, Jared's been giving me so much shit at home. I can't get away from it.
Good.
Assassin of Madness, or At Night Madness. At night spelled with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Said, a friend of mine showed me the Codex map from AC2, and it shows an Assassin logo on upstate New York, AC3, and Norway. Hashtag Assassin's Creed Valhalla. At W McDevitt, how long has Ubisoft been planning this? Lol. It seems Valhalla may be a game full of answers to old questions. Darby responds with, buckle up, you're in for something special. Hey Darby, I love ya. Get fucked. You're honeydicking me.
I think what they're going for here is, I think it's something that Darby loves to do, is with the way he, because obviously, no one should be under the illusion that this game was at all planned from day one or anything like that. Or when they made AC2, they planned, hey, in this many years, fucking 11 years or whatever, we're going to make a game set in Norway and we'll talk about this. Obviously that's not the case, but I think that Darby probably, he knows his shit. He knows that was there in Assassin's Creed 2, and so when planning out the narrative for this game, he's like, right, so that exists there. We know that from canon. How would that fit into my story? And so there's got to be something relevant to that. Do we even know what those were in Assassin's Creed 2? Because I think what it was is that they originally wanted individual temples, didn't they? And then they just went with one grand temple.
Yeah.
Because they were like,
that's
fuck it, that's too much.
That's what they set up.
Yeah, because Minerva's like, find the other temples, blah, 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 blah. So you've obviously got the one in America, which is the Grand Temple. I guess maybe they're different temples for different things or something. Maybe it'll be relevant in some regard, but interesting, I suppose, for the people that do care. But again, it's like that overarching narrative doesn't matter a great deal to me. If it harkens back to old things and talks about old stuff, then maybe I'll be interested. I'll be like, oh, that's cool to finally follow up on a storyline that I thought was quite interesting, or to talk about or to explore a lore point that I thought was interesting in the past. But it's difficult to care about the overarching story now because it sucks so much and has done since Assassin's Creed 3 came out. So it's one of those things where I feel like that comment is almost for people that give a shit and it's not really for us, which is, probably the case. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. I'm so disenfranchised. Man.
Mm-hmm.
I just struggle, and it's not even where the games have been anymore, because it's been dead to me for so long. But then even with what was exciting and what should be exciting, it's like, oh, fuck this company, man. I'm just so not on board with anything to do with this. I just want to get away from it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird seeing these trailers for Assassin's Creed and being like it does look cool, and I was quite looking forward to it, and I still am in a sense, but it feels, compared to all these other companies that I can, Ubisoft has always been one that's a bit odd, and dealing with them has been not entirely positive. But like with all of this shit that's happened, it's just difficult to like get in the right mindset for it. And obviously I need to. Like, I can't just not play a new Assassin's Creed from, the standpoint of someone that covers video games, but also from an Assassin's Creed background. Obviously, I can't ignore it, but it does feel a bit weird. It does feel a bit weird with everything that's gone down. And like I said, my tether to this really is Darby, who is, what I believe is, I think is a great guy.
100%. 100%. I agree completely.
Yeah, that's the way I'm linking myself to this game, and the way that I'm sort of looking at it is... Darby's my guy, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it probably for him more than anything else. That's really what it comes down to.
And if he's a liar or not, that's,
Yeah, and if he's a liar, because if he is, I'm not going to let him forget about it, and he will block me on Twitter. I'm joking.
And then we'll finally know the true identity of Ballsack47. That's a Clubhouse meme. But it'll finally make sense. It turns out it was Darby the whole time.
Yeah. What if Riley Reid is in Assassin's Creed? What if Riley Reid comes and she's the new modern day protagonist?
Genius.
Yes, yeah, really is. I should be writing this.
Genius. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, let's fucking wrap this show up. How about that, James?
Yeah, please.
Let's do it. We've been going on for a while.
I sounded a bit too eager there.
Yeah.
I like podcasts now.
I've always loved podcasts. But it's almost midnight and I'm exhausted, and
cool.
And this is making me sad talking about Assassin's Creed. So let's wrap this fucking thing up.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wrap it up. But you know what? It was good today to argue with you. I like yelling at you.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's a good time. And you can get more of a good time if you head over to patreon.com/as always, just $1 a month. You get exclusive access to the best podcast on the internet, the Clubhouse podcast, plus early access to the Cinema Room podcast where we drop those. And, of course, you're supporting us, James, and my channels, and when we have special videos, they come out 24 hours early on Patreon. $1, you get access to all that, plus $5 you get on the credits at the end of these podcasts. So let's read through the credits. Thanks to all the sweet vintage lads that help make the show happen. We have... Oh, man, this seems out of order from when I just had it, but...
Have you got the tiers set up right?
It should be... Oh, fuck, the tiers aren't set up right. Why did this happen?
Why
did this happen? I literally had it all ready to go, and it was perfect. If you go into the tiers tab, you can just tick $5, $10, $20, and $25 tiers, so they only show up. Yeah, I should have
Then hit the pledge filter.
How do I do that? So I go to tiers.
Yeah, so at the top there's drop downs, click tiers, and then just tick the ones that you need.
Yes. Alright.
And then just order it by pledge. And make sure you tick July 2020 as well.
Yeah, I've already done that, but that's good. Okay. I like where your head's at. Perfect. Alright, we got it. Alright. Thank you to these sweet vintage lads. We have King Richard III, Josh, Duh Vil Yay, Damian, Olberik, Avry Dobbs, Adam Sundling, Cat94, Nick, the Gaming Prick, Real Cinema, Colton, the Creampie King, Morgan Machac, Ballsack47 the Liar, Lumistrad, Mario5380, Casey Wood is ashamed to be... I'm not reading your name, Logan Paul. Go fuck yourself. Ooga Booga, Chinga, Wooga,
Wait, I
Tooga.
can't see these names.
Why can't you see these names?
Do I have the wrong thing? I wanted to... What the fuck? Which... Are you on the right one?
Yeah, July 2020.
Why is this all wrong for me? See, mine goes Ballsack, Casey Wood, Pinkflame 303, Lumistrad, Machac 380.
Well, mine fucking doesn't, mate.
Did you filter it by tier or by pledge?
Tier.
See, I filtered it by pledge, so it makes the top at the top.
Fucking hell, man. You're freaking me out.
Well, yeah, because Pinkflame 313 should surely be read above Lumistrad, because he does 13 a month instead of 10 a month.
Yeah, I just did by tier, bro.
Fine, I'll switch it to fucking tier.
Alright. Ooga Booga, Chinga Wooga, Tooga Mooga, Looga Sooga, Vooga, Pooga, Rooga, Sooga, Zooga, Ooga, Dooga. Pinkflame 303, Jesper Olsen, Kim Saba Gamer Creampie, Seth, Kevin Bond, Sicarius, aka Karen, I don't fucking know.
Kieran fucking hell, man.
Karen. He's a fucking Karen. Henry, Justin, T-Man Travis, Aragon, BQ Overlord, The Elder, Son of a Bitch, OG Doggo, Ravjar, Gene doesn't understand how you're World War One. Joshua Mora, Brian Ford is playing The Witcher 1 for the first time and loving it. Joe the Sexy Boy Smith, S. Jaws, Emil Catboard, Kyle, Benedict Clubbers, Furious Coco, Noah Watch, Fishy, Geeko Swag, Master Bass, Max H, Luca, Winona Ryder, aka Lindsay from Destination Wedding, Joe the Lioness Charming, Arse Eating, Coke Snorting, Founder Scarab, aka The Ninth Pillar. Congrats, Eddie, on the new Con Bro Baby, Kassassin, The Creed, Nick Miller, Owen Brain, Walshy, Josh J. Anderson, our our editor. I'm James, and I can't follow Eddie's simple instructions for Patreon tips. Smexy Dork, Gwen Hughes, Evan Brown, Radoc, Nice Cock Bro, Fat Fuck Cuck, I'm Not Moving On from Rocket Man, Victor Eliasson, Bleeding Edge 274, The Discoverer, and Big Word of Marquee 1989, and then also I can't think of anything else to put here. No Mojo, Alfie Rodbert, Philip Stillwagon, Jack DJ 1998, Gimme a Penis, Marcus aka Blackburn, Fickle Wickle, Suck My Pickle, Mag aka the guy who makes his own Assassin Christmas, Kyle, The Swan Swam Over the Sea, Swim Swan Swim, The Swan Swam Back Again, Well Swum Swan, Greenie's Weenie, Jas Notter, Liam, Andy Cure, Saul Goodman, Riley Reed, The Blue Cow, Creed Landmarks, Harrisy aka Bad Assassin, Alexander is Unpolished and Unrefined, Gamer Vids, Star Explorer, Rainy Not Sunny, Blake Lloyd, Louis DeLeon, Lady Litsomania, Zeke aka Colin the Cock, in the upcoming Marquee sequel written and directed by Ben Higgins, Jackery, Tristan Obergfell, Evan the Kitty, Angel of Harlem, Big Dick 666999, and Zeppo. Thanks, you sweet vintage lads, for helping power this podcast. You're all amazing.
Nice.
And with that, James, that's it for another As Always podcast.
Beautiful.
We will see you next week for the Clubhouse Podcast episode 91, exclusive to patreon.com/as always. Join us over there as we head in to what'll be September 1st. Does that come out? Fuck. Or is it? Oh, no, ooh. August 31st. So our last show of the month. And obviously, everyone, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I can't wait to hear everyone get mad at me about my opinion on Batman. Thank you all, and we'll see you all next time.
Catch you later, boys.